Okay, this is super fried. Let's get some people in here and then kind of go from there. Um, that's awesome. Uh, 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 uh. Uh. Oh man, give me one sec, guys, then we'll get this thing really going. This is crazy. All right. Just gonna go through this the good old normal way. I was kind of a little bit blindsided by this, not a little bit blindsided by it, like crazy blindsided by it. I had literally just got home because obviously like I've got the 2 hour commute to and from Columbus, and so sometimes it takes me a while to get home. I had just gotten home, and Ron calls me. I'm literally like, you go home, you go to the bath, gotta go piss first. Ron calls me, hey, are you going live? Like Sherrone Moore just got fired. And I did intend on doing a signal loss today, but this obviously takes precedent to that because this is, I guess, my top op, my rival. They have, made the kind of done the unthinkable a little bit. Kind of not kind of, most definitely an absolutely crazy play from them to make this firing. At this point in the hiring cycle, two things are true. Either the misconduct was so bad that they had to make the move now, or they've already done their coaching search and they already have someone kind of that's readily available. So I guess we'll kind of go through this. Thanks for everybody for stopping by. It is kind of a wild time. We're just gonna go through this nice and simple. This is the thing. This one of the things that I opened up my phone to. Breaking: Michigan has fired head coach Sherrone Moore. It was on the replies. Ohio State sends another one to the graveyard. Ooh, for that to be the last game that he coached is crazy. People are in denial. I honestly was a little bit in denial at first. I mean, that is a big deal. But it is funny because it's like, my belief is that generally speaking, you can really evaluate whether you should fire or keep your head coach based on like how soon you think they'll get the next job. And I think that like Sherrone Moore was not a candidate for any of the job openings. And he would not be a candidate if there was a Michigan somewhere else that opened up. Like Michigan would not want to call a coach like Sherrone Moore. It is wild. Here we go. They really waited till after signing day so the recruits didn't go anywhere. Bro, are we cooked? Okay, so one thing that does happen when a coach gets fired is there is a 30-day portal opening up window, and all those kids that sign can absolutely leave. Like, this does not lock them in. Wow. All right, so let's go to On3. Let's see what the On3 article says, because there has not been any reasoning for cause. I mean, the only thing I think that came out over the last couple days has been, I mean, not last couple days, has been like the tinfoil hat gang and the investigative gang. They've kind of, I mean, maybe their story was right. I didn't want to do this, but there's all the rumors obviously about like Sherrone Moore. Oh yeah, there it is. Michigan is firing Sherrone Moore for cause the school announced. Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Yeah, that's it. Wow. Holy smokes. So that ended up being real. It's funny because people, I mean, that story came out and there was a lot of like, okay, like no way, like don't lie about that kind of thing. I had it bookmarked, but I believe Don Thomas posted something about like from behind a paywall from Sam Webb actually saying that the story has not, like, that story was not true. He said it, and then the tweet got deleted. Yeah, I wonder, somebody screenshotted it, and I gotta find it. Okay, let's just go through this together. Holy shit, this is not happening right now. I am blown away. I am absolutely blown away. Dude, because you had Spiro go on this whole big thing talking about how he knows what Sherrone Moore's type is. Oh my God, he had this early. And you wonder, speculatory, you wonder if Michigan knew about this and just wanted to make sure that they had a proper replacement or a coach in place before they did all that. I have to text my head coaching friends. Yeah. Okay, so hey, everyone, just while you're here, leave a like, leave a comment, and also leave a sub too, and then let me know if I sound okay, because I'm pretty flustered with all this, and it's funny because I do know a couple of head coaches that I want to text to check in on and see what's going on, and then obviously here we go, Tyler McCormick. Tyler's blowing me up. Like, my phone's just gonna be blown up the entire day. This is like a real derailer. Let me tell him I'm live. I'm live. Okay. All right. Sherrone Moore has been fired as Michigan's head coach. On3's Pete Nakos reported he took over Jim Harbaugh, blah, blah, blah. On3 confirmed Wolverine players were abruptly called for a team meeting where they learned of the news. Ward Manuel announced the decision was for cause after a university investigation found credible evidence that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. In a statement, Biff Poggi, return of Biff, will serve as the interim head coach. Oh my God. Moore arrived at Michigan in 2018 as tight ends coach. Yeah. Whatever. Okay, Underwood, yeah. The Sherrone Moore tenure, doesn't he have a show cause too? Inappropriate relationships with the staffer. You know what? I don't even like to give this thing kind of credence, but let's see. Because Spiro's been the one absolutely going berserk over this for a while. Okay. This is from Spiro. Don't know how credible it is, but I do want to give, he is the one that said something about this a while ago. I don't love the way he acts on the timeline a lot, but he did have this a while ago, and I guess this is, okay. The University of Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore had an extramarital affair with the staffer, according to multiple sources with knowledge of the situation. Michigan sources believe the affair resulted in a pregnancy, which was ultimately terminated through abortion procedure paid for by Moore. Paige Shiver, who is still a current staffer whose job title is executive assistant to the head coach, is the woman whom Moore allegedly had the extramarital affair with. Shiver is 32, a Purdue graduate in 2016, who joined the program in 2021, was working on campus recruiting and football operations coordinator on then Coach Harbaugh's staff. Holy shit. According to Shiver's LinkedIn page, she was promoted to her current role as executive assistant to the head coach in February 2024, shortly after Sherrone Moore took over the program. So Sherrone got promoted, and then she got bumped immediately. Bumped up. That's kind of crazy. So now we've got Mel Tucker and him being fired for things that aren't. Okay. The extramarital relationship is similar to the one the extramarital relationship is similar to the one which derailed Bobby Petrino's time at Arkansas in 2012. He engaged in an improper relationship with a direct subordinate on the Razorbacks staff, and the university cited the affair with terminating his contract for cause. Moore's contract with Michigan contains moral turpitude clause as the standard for coaches across college athletics. Okay. This is such a bad picture. I'll just read it. It's really, sorry guys. Definitely an impromptu thing. Usually I'm a little bit more organized when it comes to this kind of thing. But this one was guys, this is my workflow. Make sure you like and sub. I will have definitely a series of insane signal loss reactions, because this kind of catapults things into a different stratosphere. Make sure you keep liking and subbing while you're here. The university has the right to terminate the employee of the head coach for cause in the event of any of the following: failure of the head coach in any marital respect to perform services required of him under this agreement, conviction of the head coach in any criminal offense, okay, blah, 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 and then misconduct. Yeah. Okay. Goodness. Okay. This is going to be a mess. And yeah, it's after signing day, but the portal's going to open up. There's going to be interest on kids from the portal. Yeah, Adam King, salt on the wound. The final moment of Sherrone Moore's era at Michigan. So he was having an affair with a staffer, and it led to him. Yeah, dude, because I was going to do one on this, on the Jim Knowles hire to Tennessee, but today is going to be all about the Sherrone Moore news. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, paywall. Yeah, here's a statement from Ward Manual and all this. Okay. head football coach Sherrone Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately. Oh my God, they knew about this? I think they knew about this, and they must have performed a search, is my guess. I would not be shocked if we see a very quick big board and a very quick hiring in the next in the next couple hours. Okay, I need to text my favorite coach. This is absurd. Yeah, this is absurd. And then it's also like, this is the issue. It's so late in the cycle, you do wonder, it's so late in the cycle, you do wonder about just naturally I guess how things are gonna go over the course of the next couple of hours. Guys, my phone is gonna be blown up. I'm here with you guys instead of talking to any coaches, so that should be like the ultimate compliment. Okay. So you got to figure Bryce Underwood is likely gone. You got to figure Andrew Marsh would definitely look around, and there'll be suitors for. I mean, honestly, you know who's going to be the biggest beneficiary of this? The biggest beneficiary of this, the biggest one, is going to be Michigan State. Michigan State right now, with all this happening. Oh my God. Following university investigation, credible evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in inappropriate relationships with a staff member. This conduct constitutes a clear violation of the university policy, and maintains a zero tolerance for such behavior. Biff has been appointed the football coach and interim captain effective immediately. In interim capacity, effective immediately. I can't even read right now. Yeah, this is absolutely fried.
College football news, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Michigan has just fired Sherrone Moore. Now, according to Pete Thamel, he will be fired for cause. Michigan was 9-3 this past season and is scheduled to play Texas on December 31st. As news happens, think of us right here on YouTube. What are your thoughts about Michigan firing Sherrone Moore? Did you expect this? Who do you think will be the next head football coach at Michigan?
No, Kyle. No one expected it. No one expected it, Kyle. Fuck. Nobody expected it. Brick Haas, thanks for the 5. Does Michigan do the crazy thing and hire Chip Kelly? Oh my God, no way. No way. I like to believe that Chip Kelly has too much respect. Bo and Woody, mentor gets hired to the rival. Whoa, this is going to be so crazy. Holy shit, dude. Holy smokes. This is a good one. Cheating, a Michigan tradition on and off the field. I'm blown away right now. Sherrone Moore fired, and oh my God. Okay, so who's their coaching big board, right? Because that's like late in the cycle. Oh my goodness. Okay, here's the other part of it. Matt Campbell's already been hired. The perfect coach to go to Michigan for what they want to do, and the perfect coach to kind of like take advantage of the and honestly, the coach that was right for the Michigan culture, what people think the Michigan culture is definitely fucking Matt Campbell. And Matt Campbell was just sitting at Iowa State, and Penn State did not want to hire him at all. And then, of course, Penn State then pivots to hire him. And now, dude, somebody in the chat explain to me why this doesn't make a ton of sense for Brian Kelly to go there. Yeah, Spiro expected it. Spiro did expect it. Other than that, I don't know who else expected it. Dude, Michigan might have just fucked themselves in the worst way. Like, if you were going to do this, part of me, like, wonders, okay, like, did Michigan have this in place and then waited and then fired him? Or did Michigan not have it and got tipped off, and that caused it because they fired him at the most inopportune time to kind of fuck themselves? Brian Kelly's the only available coach, really. Freeman's locked up in Notre Dame. That's a better job. Jed Fish? Is it Jed? Because you got to think that they performed a coaching search. Okay. Oh, not Jed Fish's wife. Goodness gracious. Okay, Jed Fish. Born in Jersey, from Florida. And was at Michigan in 2015. Could it be Jed? All right, this is what's happened. So they fired Sherrone Moore for cheating on his wife with a staffer. Spiro is claiming that she got pregnant, and that's why they fired. Yeah. And I guess the big thing is you have to perform a coaching search. You have to beforehand, or else you run the risk of like setting your program back a decade. Does Tony Alford even get a shot? You're not going to hire Matt Patricia. Brian Kelly, Jed Fish. It's funny because I've heard from a bunch of people, the guy who wanted the job, the guy that really wanted the Michigan job. The first time I was Kellen DeBoer, but Kellen DeBoer's not going to leave Bama for Michigan right now. Ben Vargo, Coach O, welcome to Michigan. Jim Knowles to Michigan, and then T-Rex travels. I remember Coach Jack mentioning people inside of Michigan's organization confirmed the rumor last week or 2 weeks ago. I did have it confirmed that he definitely had some extramarital stuff going on, or people at least believed that. Like, I had heard that from a couple Michigan people that are really, really plugged in. I didn't really want to dive too much into it. My next thing is that, like, I wish that they would have said this was an investigation due to some like tech stuff that they were breaking on the sideline too. Yeah, well, Kerry Combs is still on staff. That's real. Okay, we got to Google it. Because like Jesse Minter would be the one, right? This is where that show cause hurts them so much. Okay. Background, sign stealing, reactions, finding and punishment. All right, here we go. Oh, this is where the sign stealing absolutely fucks them. Jim Harbaugh was largely dismissive of rules and compliance, blah, blah, blah. Michigan received major sanctions. Okay. Sherrone Moore given a 3-year suspension. Jim Harbaugh was given a 10-year show cause. Connor Simon was given an 8-year show cause. Chris Partridge was fired. Who else was giving who all at Michigan show causes? That's what we got to figure out. Who at Yeah, and he can't get a new job because he's got that show cause. All right, according to AI, here are the people that got the show cause. Jim Harbaugh, Connor Stallions, Jesse Minter, but his is only for 1 year, so he could be good. Clinksdale, he got a 2-year, and Sherrone Moore got a 2-year. A show cause means any NCAA school hiring individual must justify to the NCAA. Often, yes, they're not going to get fired. They're not going to hire the show cost. Oh my god, dude, this is absurd. Bryce Newsom, thanks for the 2. Dillingham or Fish, maybe an NFL or coordinator. Okay, Dillingham. Let me actually, guys, if you guys want me to text about people, please. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Here we go. Welcome to Signal Lost Behind the Scenes. While you're here, I do have a decent amount of sources. I know a couple agents, and I know a lot of coaches. Give me a couple names you want me to ask about, and I will give you the answer as I get them in return. Okay. Dude, biggest winner in this is Michigan State. Michigan State wins in a huge, huge way. In a huge, huge way. They have the right coach, and now that whole roster is going to be up for the grabs. Okay, let me get a couple names. Tony Alford, Dillingham. Let me ask. All right. Okay, let's see. First one I'm going to ask about is Kenny Dillingham. ASU, right. No way he leaves for Michigan. Jeez, oh, Pete. Okay. Clay Helton is crazy. Dude, Michigan State with the biggest come up ever. It's going to have to be Brian Kelly, right? Okay. Who else do I know? Connor Stallions, you guys are ridiculous. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, I texted about Tony. Okay, I texted about Tony. I texted about Tony, texted about Dillingham. Who else? Stefanski? Text about Zach Smith. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. This is a shit show. So I'm going to, real quick, I'm going to set a super chat goal. If we get to pick a number, whatever number, then I'll make sure that I have the Michigan Reaction Pod out in the next 24 hours. So we're going to set it for 50, and doesn't even matter. We have a 1 hour. If we match this, I'll do a second hour, okay? Bonus signal lost. All right, let's do it. Okay, a couple quick notes I want to get to. I did send those text messages out. I'll get to them in a sec. Dillingham, Fish, or NFL coordinator. I did hear that that Kevin Stefanski does want out of Cleveland and feels like he has not been treated right. So that's a fascinating one. Prior to Moore, it always seems to be an Ohio guy. Yeah, that's real. Honestly, the two guys that made a ton of sense for Michigan, it's Fitz and it's Matt Campbell. So, and those two are now out the window. And then I did have one more. Lance, thanks for the 5. You have some of the best content, bro. Keep it going. I appreciate it, bro. Obviously, like, I love being on a microphone. I like to be a little bit more organized in this, but when this kind of news drops, it's crazy. Bobby, thanks for the 2. Crappy to do it after National Signing Day. 100% agree. Don B, thanks for the 5. Chase Herbstreet, his job is complete. He committed to spying Sherrone Moore. Clapping cheeks and get him the snitch and then get him fired. Yeah, dude. Holy hell. Cliff Kingsbury. Okay. I don't know anybody that would know Cliff, but I could definitely ask about Cliff Kingsbury. And then Knowles to Tennessee. Is that real? Yes, it is real. And Classic Team of North. Mac Leftwich. That's, yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Let's go back to Twitter. Huh. Yeah. You guys know this video right here. That's going to bang. Yeah. That's going to be the one that bangs. Dude, Zach is comedic for this. This is a lot of scandals for Michigan in a really, really short amount of time. Like a lot. Let's see what Pate has to say. Has he reacted to it? No text from Pate. Nothing from Pate. Yeah, this is fried. Dable to Michigan would scare me. I can ask about Dable. That's one I can directly ask about. Also, guys, we need like 100 more subs to get to 8K. So if you guys hit the subscribe button, we'll be there. This is so bizarro. Still nothing from them. Let's see if... Let's see if we got anything. Here it is. Front Office Sports is the very, very best. Yeah, dude, what a crazy thing to wake up to. I hear you on that one. Credible evidence that he engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. On Wednesday, the University of Michigan fired head coach Sherrone Moore for cause after the university investigated and found he engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a university staffer. Moore just finished his second season as the Wolverines head coach with 18-8 in 2 seasons, 9-3 in 2025. Sherrone Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately. Michigan Athletic Director Ward Manuel said in a statement following the university investigation, credible evidence was found. Okay, that's real. This is what I need to go to. Whenever something goes wrong, intrinsic will always have something. This was from December 1st. This is what makes me kind of wonder, okay, like, was there, like, did they know it already? Let me pull up my OBS. Okay. This is from December 1st, from one of the paid sites. They probably still won't believe it. They don't want to see anything that might make them question if Sherrone Moore's the guy. It's fair to question that now, but can't fathom that they ignore this stuff. So I'm good with giving him next year too. Hopefully Chip doesn't tell him to get bent and Sherrone can convince Chip it's really his offensive call this time. Okay. I think the next 10 days will be very telling. This, no doubt about it, Eric Blue, who's a true freshman, did not look anything like he was. So that was kind of the beginning start of maybe some of the leaks that were coming out. Fast forward to Saturday, Michigan threw 5 times. Okay, these were the initial leaks. But there was something else. And with cause, they saved some money. This was crazy. This is like a crazy shot calling. If Sherrone Moore shoes me out to turn over the proof and discovery, so I'd suggest you'd encourage him to file that lawsuit I heard he's blustering about. Maybe then the world can hear the tapes of figures openly admitted to violations to bylaw 161121. Oh my God, Spiro baited him. Spiro really baited him. This is one of the crazier polls we've seen the last several months in this. Dable, I think, has got to be an option. Rome. I just sent a text about him. It has to be Jesse Minner, right? I don't know anybody that could. I mean, I could ask about him. Think Brian Kelly. I think Brian Kelly makes a ton of sense. And then, yeah, what a crazy thing to drop a nap after, to wake up to a nap too. I can turn my heater on. Ooh. I'm so blown away. This stuff is really wild. All right, we got to check one more guy. Let's see. They said Ryan Day's brother, is he to blame for this? Oh, Patrick is sick as hell. Patrick is sick as hell. Oh my God. You miss 100% of the shots. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Sherrone Moore. That's allegedly the girl that he had. Oh, and Spiro literally said he's got a thing for blondes, bro. He had this whole thing on wax, on ice. What an insane thing. They were right, man. This is a crazy pull. I guess I should have been working on the Penn State thing. Should have been working on the Michigan thing. What a crazy pull, dude. Sherrone Moore cheated on his wife and got a staff member pregnant 2 weeks before Christmas with 3 kids at home as well. What a clown. Has Christ follower in his bio. This is his wife. He was fired from Michigan for an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. So Sherrone Moore was finally fired for the cheating scandal stuff. Yeah, well, no, but kinda. Shut up, Chandler, dude. Sherrone panicked and deleted his text before realizing which cheating allegations people were actually talking about. Okay.
You made this happen by saying that the carousel had closed. It was done. It was a wrap. You said there weren't going to be any more openings. Every coach had been hired. Every coach had been fired. Ready to move on, pack it up, and go home. And yeah, you did that.
To the
Cover 3 pod. I can't believe this happened, dude. So honestly, like now that this happened, we're just gonna go through like kind of my workflow, what I do when this kind of thing happens. Initially, usually like I draft a list of names that I think could be hired, and then I come up with a list of like 5 or 6 guys that I'm gonna keep an eye on with the transfer portal stuff. And then from there, I try to just like see what happens next. And then I usually text a bunch of my resources to see like who's got what. Oh yeah, I gotta. I missed 2 calls and someone asked if I was okay. Ooh, Ryan Grubb. That would be a good name. That would be a really good one. From 250, I think Sherrone knew he was getting fired during the game. He was not there at all and like crying the entire game. I think that's just who he is. Ben Vargo, hopefully kept that blue collar jacket. Yeah, because he can't work next year. Another cheating scandal. What's going on in Ann Arbor? Yeah, honestly, dude, like I can't remember this much stuff happening to a single program in like this amount of time. That's kind of crazy. Lost the game and his job. He couldn't manage the D. You're sick. Ryan Grubb. Ryan Grubb is a good name. Ryan Grubb is a good name.
3 podcast here on CBS Sports. That's Tom Fernelli. I'm Chip Patterson coming to you live at youtube.com/cover3 and everywhere you get your podcasts on demand. Thanks for hanging out. Smash that subscribe, smash that like, and come and join us in the chat where they see those sirens in their feed. They know exactly what that means. Awfully strange to have a celebratory tone given the news.
This is the final form of Pat Cahill, just so you guys know. This guy right here, that's like the final form, right? Like we're all kind of on our journeys up the media ladder. But the final form of Pat is Chip. I don't know. I'm not, yeah, Chip. Crazy.
News I'm about to deliver. Coming across our desk just before 5 p.m. Eastern Time, University of Michigan head football coach Sherrone Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately following a university investigation. Credible.
Just real quick, I would hate to see Ryan Grubb in Ann Arbor. I would hate to see him in Ann Arbor. And no, Mike Gundy probably not an option given there's going to be some differences there.
Evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. This constitutes a clear violation of university policy, and the University of Michigan maintains zero tolerance for such behavior. Biff Poggi has been appointed head football coach in an interim capacity, effective immediately. Sometimes there are hot seats. Sometimes there is smoke. Sometimes there is belief within the general college football community that a coaching change might be on the horizon. This is not one of those situations. So yes, we can bypass the pleasantries. Unless you, Tom, were privy to this university investigation, were you?
Why can't these schools just let us live our lives, Chip?
I thought he was going to say that he was privy to it. I thought he was ready.
Hey, listen, if Sherrone Moore acted right, we would not be here right now.
That's real. Thank you, Chip.
Right.
I mean, there are always rumors that you hear, and most of the time they're all complete crap. And you just kind of dismiss them. And there have been rumors floating around coming out of Ann Arbor for recent weeks that I'd kind of dismissed. And then this happened today, and it's no longer seems to be dismiss worthy.
That's kind of where I was at. I think a lot of people were kind of at that place because obviously, like, if someone like handed me some truth serum and was like, name 25 coaches that you know right now, or that there's a rumor about them like cheating on their wife, I could probably name 50, right? It's like, I mean, like I can name 10, I can name 20, I can name 30, I can name 50 that like cheat on their wives. And like a lot of times, like it kind of gets accepted as like a like an industry, like a worst kept secret kind of thing. It never ends up like getting someone fired, I feel like. But if it is a staffer, it's interesting. But I do remember the whole rumors of like Lincoln Riley sleeping with a staffer at Oklahoma. And it was a rumor. Lincoln Riley sleeping with a staffer at Oklahoma. Now Miami boosters are calling me. And then taking that staffer and her husband and making them on and putting them on the USC staff also. It was and like they weren't like it was kind of just like openly like, okay.
The thing that almost makes this easier, though obviously more difficult to get blindsided by such news from the perspective of trying to cover this and talk about this as quickly as possible with you and everybody in the Cover 3 tailgate, is that I don't think we need to linger on the how we got there.
Correct.
Yeah, that's just like an easy part for our like understanding what matters about this conversation.
See, that's where they're different than me because like I want to know every single detail, like how it happened. Here's what I'm interested in: how it happened, how they got caught, who caught them, and when they found out. Those are the four things I'm really interested in. And then obviously, like just because I care about the people more than the sport, I think I'm curious to know, like, was that abortion thing really a thing as well? Because that was attached to the rumor. I found out probably right around when the first rumor broke. I sent like 2 texts out, like, yeah, this happens. Yeah, whatever. But I didn't think it would end up like getting to kind of this tier. I didn't know it was a staffer. I just knew that he was a freak bull mate, or allegedly.
I don't know anything that goes on there.
Also, like, what a fucking culture Michigan has over there. Like, they're the culture school. They're the culture program. And they bagged on Ohio State fans for year after year after year, for every arrest, for everything that went wrong and for the whole Urban Meyer thing. Like, Michigan people with the whole Urban Meyer thing. And the girl's name was Cayman, Nebraska. They didn't even sleep together.
But if the university says you messed up, it's done. Like, those words are so serious. Terminated with cause, effective immediately. Robbie Callan, Sherrone Moore buyout was a story that was written at one point. Guess what?
And now it won't have to be paid.
Now it's not. It has not come to that whatsoever. So yeah, Michigan.
Poor Robbie, he's the real victim here.
I know. So that means that we can sort of fast forward. So in the immediate future, as the school announced, Biff Poggi takes over. Biff Poggi can very much lead this team in the Citrus Bowl prep and do what needs to be done.
No one wants to talk about it, but this team is better with Biff than they are with Sherrone. Also, is my audio mixing okay? Like, am I the same level as them on screen? If they are, that would be cool.
To be able to fulfill the school's obligations for the rest of the football season. But we are also about a month away from the start of winter conditioning, and I would imagine that the University of Michigan, especially given the situations of the turnover, would like to make another full-time head coach beyond Biff Poggi. So that leads us to our next piece of this. What now for Michigan?
I don't know. Like, if this happens 3 weeks ago, or hell, a week ago,
Matt Campbell?
I'm telling you, Matt Campbell is the very
That was my thought too. Matt Campbell. My thought was Matt Campbell immediately off the rip.
first name that should be at the top of the list of who they're going to go after. And because, I mean, we've kind of talked about it. Like, before Matt Campbell took the Penn State job, this Michigan gig was one I always kind of felt like he was, had as one that was on his list of the places that he would go. And maybe it was at the top of that list. And now it's open after he's just taken the Penn State gig. So I don't know. It's a similar situation. There has been some smoke about Kalen DeBoer possibly being interested in this gig.
This job was once the dream job for Kalen DeBoer, but I don't think he would actually go there. It is funny, the Matt Campbell thing. I was always of the belief that this is where Matt Campbell would end up. I know Matt Campbell turned down USC a while ago, and when that happened, I mean, obviously it was a huge deal, but he turned down USC, and I thought that the only way he would go anywhere else was if it was to go to. I mean, fuck. I thought the only way it would be something is if it was to go to Michigan. And then obviously, like, Penn State's not as good of a job as USC, but ended up at Penn State when Penn State struck out a bunch of times. Let's see what we got here.
His background, a lot of his earlier coaching jobs were up there in Michigan, so he has experience. Really didn't research head coach, moving forward. And it's going to be really fascinating to see now, who do they end up with as their next head coach. For me, I gotta say, the name that jumps to mind for me is Brian Kelly. Like, Brian Kelly's a guy who he gets fired at LSU, kind of a messy breakup there. Name, unlike a James Franklin, his name really didn't resurface at all in terms of the other jobs being filled. You think about his background, a lot of his earlier coaching jobs were up there in Michigan. So he has experience up there at Grand Valley State, at Central Michigan. He also has a close relationship with Bryce Underwood, because LSU was the other school that made a big run at Bryce Underwood before he ultimately signed with Michigan. So that's the name that jumps to mind for me. Chase, how about you? Are there any names that jump to mind for you as guys who could be the next coach at Michigan?
I mean, you brought up James Franklin, and I'm just thinking about how that would be in some ways a win for Michigan fans and for Ohio State fans, because James Franklin turned around that program after, obviously all the sanctions that were levied against them. He then comes in, follows after Bill O'Brien, and is able to build that program into a perennial contender. And obviously, as you mentioned, I pulled up some of the numbers for what Michigan was handed in terms of sanctions over this past summer, and it was a fine that could range.
I like Chase Brown. Chase Brown's one of my favorites. All right, let's see what else we got. This is such an insane day.
Smoke, that means no, but if Freeman has NFL smoke, that means he probably has had his agent reach out to NFL teams, which means he has some interest in leaving the Notre Dame program.
100%. Because why do you think
Freeman's not leaving Notre Dame to go to the?
You say
Freeman's
that,
an Ohio State guy too. Why would he ever go to Michigan?
Yeah, why would he leave Notre Dame?
Because money talks.
He's not
money
leaving
talks.
Notre Dame to go to the fucking New York Giants. Absolutely not.
No, but money talks.
My money is on DeBoer
or Jed Fish.
That's
I
true.
can agree with that.
I do see the
I
Jed
can
Fish
agree with
hire.
that. I would
Jed
say
Fish
more
is a
of
good
DeBoer
choice.
All right.
because
I see Jed Fish more than DeBoer, to be honest.
And I'd be okay.
What we're gonna get over the next like several weeks is we're gonna get a lot of talk. You're gonna really see how delusional the Michigan fan base talking about how good of a job they think they are. Like even in the first couple minutes of that space, they were talking about, Marcus Freeman interested in leaving Notre Dame. Would he leave Notre Dame for Michigan? It's like, no, absolutely not. If there's any interest in leaving Notre Dame, it would be just for an NFL job. And that's like a separate cut of like challenges, right? He would not leave what he's built at Notre Dame, what he has in Notre Dame, to go to Michigan, because in reality, the schools that are going to benefit the most from this whole thing happening, it's going to be Michigan State, Notre Dame, Indiana. Like those places are going to benefit greatly because that whole roster is going to get split apart a bunch of different ways. And when that happens, you're talking about an influx of talent that is absolutely going to be in play.
Everybody with them, and they've been intact.
yes,
Pretty much his
right. He brought
coaching
his
career.
system with him, and
Yeah,
it worked out
exactly.
perfectly.
And it's not that anyone's a bad guy or doesn't know how to coach. It's just like you bring your philosophy with
You
you.
go to become a head
100%.
coach to essentially be the engine of the program. So if you're the engine of the program and you got these DCs and OCs that don't have the same mindset or goals as you, it's never going to work out. Like behind the
And yeah.
scenes on the practice field and even on the game or at the game, like you can tell that like it just don't flow the way it's supposed to flow.
And I'll say this, even if this happened a week ago or whatever, I know the timing isn't great. I think Pat Fitzgerald was a good hire for Michigan State.
You cut
Yeah, you cut out hard, bro.
I got to get back to work. I'm done with my break, guys. But Ant, I appreciate you letting me talk. And last thing I got to say is go blue and throw the bag at whoever the fuck you want and go win national championships.
Yeah,
That's all I got to say.
I gotta go do some chem studying because I have an exam coming up next week. So I'll just leave on this. I say my top 5 would be offer Sig, offer Lanning, go after DeBoer, go after Freeman, and then maybe poach John Harbaugh or Jesse Minter. That's what I got for you guys. Go blue as always, and hopefully we come out.
He just listed Lanning, Sig, John Harbaugh. No.
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 I think he's
Not
an
a
NFL
shot.
guy. I think he'll
No,
go
not a
back to
shot.
NFL.
He's
think
going to
he'll-
stay at Ohio State until he gets a different freaking.
That makes sense.
I think he'll go to the
He's an
NFL.
NFL guy. When an NFL job comes calling, he's gone.
Yeah, he'll be gone to the NFL.
I don't
He
think
will
so
not
after
be-
that stint with the Lions. I don't think anybody's going to be calling him soon.
Plus, after what he just did at Ohio State with their defense, like I don't think he's going to leave anytime soon because he's in the
He's in a
running
good
for
spot.
coordinator of the
Yeah,
year.
he's in a good spot over there.
They just named off Lanning, Sig, John Harbaugh. Watch it be PJ Fleck, man. That would be hilarious. Todd Bowles be available soon. Stefanski.
I'd rather go back to the NFL to be a head coach at college. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure.
No,
if
yeah,
you
I agree
guys
with that.
said-
I
I'm
just
not
mean
sure if
I
you
don't think
guys
he's going to
said,
spend the next 20 years being content with DC in college type thing. So, but it might just be wants to bump back up to the NFL.
I'm not sure if you
I
guys.
just don't think Michigan. I just want to go on record and say that I'm thankful.
New name, Dan Mullen, the Mullinator. That would be awesome for like the Ryan Day story arc. For those who don't know, like Dan Mullen and Ryan Day hate each other, or at least Ryan Day doesn't like Dan Mullen. And so for him to get to beat him at Michigan would be incredible.
It's not going to work because we have Bryce already. And if
I
that
disagree
happens,
with
then
that.
Bryce
I think
is gone.
it
Or he could
doesn't
bring
Bryce is
Lemon.
gone.
Then Bryce is gone.
Job
100%.
is
He's
totally
100% right.
to Lincoln.
Sell me on Lincoln Riley. Why
I
would
mean, it
why would he
sounds
work-
Okay, now they've gone and pivoted to saying we want Lincoln. We could get Lincoln Riley. They really think they could get any coach they want in the entire country. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. This is what we're gonna see during this coaching search. We are going to see the most arrogant Michigan names and Michigan hot board you will ever see. It is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be ridiculous the whole way.
I think you guys are.
They got
forgetting
good
a couple
personnel
of
there.
names.
They just lose.
He got ran out of Oklahoma. I don't like Lincoln Riley, bro.
What?
Well, he did.
Did he get ran?
Run out of Oklahoma? These people don't know ball. This is disgusting.
He stabbed them in the back.
Like, he's got good
I
assistants,
think you
he's
guys.
got good personnel, but they don't win. So why would he win at Michigan?
No,
I
I
think you
don't
guys
He's
are
believe
9-3 right
forgetting.
now. I don't
defenses are
understand that.
historically bad. That's why.
Is 9-3
that's
good enough at
why he
Michigan?
went.
Hey,
You guys
just
You
good?
also
hey,
have to.
just for
You
an
also
update
have
for
to.
you.
Lincoln Riley is also the coach that beat us like a drum.
Hey, just for an
He
update for you guys. Justin
He beat
Minter,
Sherrone
his
Moore like a drum. Let's
hey,
switch that
he
around.
beat us. He beat Martindale like a drum as well. And if Lincoln Riley came over, he's bringing an entire new defensive staff,
What did he do?
an upgrade
What did he do
roster.
against the other competition that he played though? Like he's in the same boat
Exactly.
as Michigan to where
He
Nobody.
any team with
Exactly.
the
had
post
them
that
in
he played, he
contention.
fucking lost.
He had them in playoff contention, but he ran into a buzzsaw in Oregon.
he's also not a,
Lincoln
he's
Riley,
also not
Lincoln
a Midwest guy though.
bring this modern offense to at least 2025, and we're not going to be running the 3 yards in the cloud of dust. This also be way more attractive to blue chip wide receiver offensive recruits that are like, hey, do you want to go score 60 points a game? Fuck yeah, I do.
Yeah, but
You can
he's
do that with
also
DeBoer.
yeah, he's also not a Midwest guy though. Like you also got to realize that. Like he's not.
And
Also,
pipelines
DeBoer
are
is
big too. Yeah.
just throw out options that are objectively better than Mike Tomlin. I heard some idiot say Urban Meyer. Like, what a fucking
Yeah,
idiot that kid was.
Yeah, no.
those
Urban
are not good options. I will agree with that.
I think you guys are forgetting a little bit about a
we
player,
to think
a coach, coaches that have not been brought up so far. Because I agree with Ben's comment about needing a coach that has a little more offensive know-how in terms of modernizing it. But there's two names to me that haven't been mentioned are Jeff Brom at Louisville, and also my biggest catch would be Joe
did he just sign an
Brady.
extension?
Joe Brady. Joe Brady.
Didn't Brady sign an extension?
Okay. Joe Brady's not going to college, and Brom signed an extension. There is an insane amount of arrogance that's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks.
Same thing I tell my kids. If they have a pregnancy that wasn't planned, go through with it. Sarah and I will take that baby.
Yeah, that's crazy. This is a shit show. And I guess this... Spiro had this really early. He did.
Text there with our guy Dylan, Ohio State fan. We've got kind of like a triumvirate of Spiro. He has had this. I talk to Spiro a lot. We text, not on an everyday basis, but I text Spiro 4 to 5 times a week at least. In there, in a text there with our guy Dylan, Ohio State fan. We've got kind of like a triumvirate
DG.
of Michigan.
This group chat does exist. DG Yoder and Spiro.
Ohio State. We're chatting all the time on there. We take things we talk about on Twitter. We put it on our text thread and make sure we're all on the same page on different things. Spiro has had this. He has had this for maybe 6 months or more, maybe even a year. And I was trying to get him to tell me. I didn't want to break the story. I didn't want to, take his vibes away from him. But he's had it, and he nailed every single detail without even breaking the story and put out, what exactly happened. If you want to go look at his Twitter account, he's named the woman in this page. So this is what Drew Garrison, who after this tosses.
That's such a cursed image. This is, I guess, the girl on this side. That's crazy. Some of the comments. Take a victory lap, and let's not blow up this girl's spot. I hope you delete this. She's an adult woman in her 30s who allegedly engaged in sexual relationship with a married man. There's no power dynamic at play. There's a power dynamic at play, but she's not even an alleged victim of anything. And if the UM findings are true, it's arguably another bad actor in the story. I agree if it takes two. If his name is out there, hers should be as well. Oh, I got to check my phone. Again, this is all like the allegedly stuff. This is an insane story. Crazy. The staffer whom Sherrone Moore allegedly had the illicit affair with has recently switched her Instagram account to private. She is pictured here on the right. This is a mess. Yeah, he had it first and had it for a long time. Who is this? They're saying this guy also had it first? And then this dude from Deadspin had it too. Sherrone Moore is a good man. He would never do anything to jeopardize the University of Michigan. This is a crazy internet find. Sherrone Moore is a good man. He would never do anything to jeopardize the University of Michigan or his family. A man of high character, faith, integrity, leadership, discipline, and honor. Truly the model of what college athletics is about. It was getting slammed. Carrie does a good job usually. I think you should delete your account. You clearly don't have many sources, just like when you said Colonel Tate was off the rest of the year. Oh, so we did have both those takes back-to-back times. I think there's time for you to walk it back so you can keep spreading misinformation on your fake account. I'm sure no one will be on to you at all. I was forced to delete this tweet. Good Lord. I've been asked to take down my latest post due to legal concerns. Sherrone Moore has been fired. God. All right, let's look at their depth chart. Okay, you got to think. All right. Marsh, portal. Samaj, portal. You got to think a lot of these redshirt freshman, portal. Underwood, portal. Jaden Davis, probably portal. We got to try to keep one. Jordan Marshall, I would assume, goes wherever Tony Alford goes. If Tony Alford is on staff, I think he would stay. If Tony Alford isn't there, I think he would probably go. That'd be his third running back. Kuzdal likely goes with Tony Alford if Tony Alford does leave. Yeah, Garu Gnu, Chris, IU is going to make out with Michigan and PSU fallouts. 1,000% agree. I mean, them, Michigan State, and Notre Dame are all going to come up. Michigan likely knew about this for a while, but they might have been conducting a coaching search beforehand. A Campbell buyout to go to Michigan would be hilarious. That would be insane. Last thing he did was listen to Ryan telling him to let off his field. Jesus. On defense, they're so young, too. This was like the youngest ranked team for a while, man. And the fact that they lost their head coach, dude, this might turn Sig into a monster. And, like, I mean, at Ohio State, we don't take a ton of guys. We don't take a ton at Ohio State. But, dude, Signetti, this is going to be like an infinity stone for Signetti, who just won the conference. This whole class is going to get gutted. Whole class. Like, this whole roster. I'm blown away. I am blown away.
We got some pretty big news coming out of the college football world today. I don't think anyone was expecting this move whatsoever. We had a coach that was fired, and it's one that I don't think anyone was expecting when the season ended a couple weeks ago. Well, according to multiple reports, Michigan has fired head coach Sherrone Moore. Now, apparently, he wasn't fired because Michigan was disappointed with their past season. They want to go in a different direction. Well, the decision was for cause, so there's a lot to dive into with this move. But before we get to today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel. So make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. So yeah, this comes as a major surprise. When I got the notification, I had to double check because I'm thinking, why is Michigan firing Sherrone Moore?
I had the same thing. I got the call and like absolutely thought, okay. Paul Williams, do all the letters of intent become null and void? I don't think they do, but with the unlimited portal jumps, like it doesn't even matter. Like all those kids can hit the portal right now. And whenever a coach is fired, it triggers a 30-day auto window anyway.
Or was there something that I missed over the last couple of days where there was talks that they were going to move on? There was someone else they wanted to bring in as their head coach. So I thought I was potentially out of the loop on this decision by Michigan. But yeah, it turns out there is a lot more going on with this situation. There was a statement released from Michigan's athletic director, Ward Manuel. Michigan head football coach Sherrone Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately following a university investigation.
I wonder what happens with the current contracts for NIL guys. Like, does the new coach have to inherit the Bryce Underwood $12 million, or is it just going to be year over year? And like one of the things that can get him out of it is if a coach gets fired.
Credible evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. This conduct constitutes a clear violation of university policy, and Michigan maintains zero tolerance for such behavior. Biff Poggi has been appointed head football coach in an interim capacity effective immediately. So yeah, this is pretty much an absolute bombshell of a story. He wasn't fired because Michigan was disappointed with the production this past season or the direction the program was headed. He got fired because he was doing something he should not have been doing. Apparently, there was this tweet more than a week ago from former Michigan State quarterback Connor Cook, and I didn't see this. I guess a lot of Michigan fans saw this. A lot of people in the Big Ten, they were following this. But on December 1st, Connor Cook tweeted, "Sherrone Cheater Moore got a staffer pregnant and is soon to be fired. Hashtag Cook said it first." Like I said, I didn't see this tweet. Based on this, it only has 29,000.
Not Connor Cook.
Views as of right now, so I don't think that many people did see this, but the fact that a former Michigan State quarterback is breaking a pretty big...
That's not the real Connor Cook though, right? Not Connor Cook 18? There's no way. Is that really Connor Cook? There's no way that's Connor Cook.
Story like this. First off, who are his sources? Who are his connections within the Michigan program? How did he pick up this scoop more than a week ago? That's absolutely insane. So now Sherrone Moore is fired. Biff Poggi is going to be the interim coach for Michigan's bowl game, and moving forward, I'm not exactly certain what Michigan is going to do.
Sherrone Moore is out at Michigan. Circumstances surrounding it are not good. And even outside of that, this felt like it was inevitable. I don't think this was a good hire to begin with. I didn't really like the hire when it was made at the time. And now they're looking for someone to take over, and pretty late in the coaching carousel. It feels like the candidates that they might have wanted if they were going to make this move earlier.
That's going to be the overarching thing. It's like a lot of candidates that they may have wanted, like, are no longer even available. Like that's where they get hurt in all this.
Then out, maybe they were waiting for this, something where it says a lot of people are reporting it's with cause. So maybe they were waiting for this to get things done. Now, there are still plenty of names that could potentially take over, and Michigan is a brand that is an interesting team for a lot of people. So the appeal for some of these names that we'll talk about is going to be there. You're also bringing to the table Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood is a nice piece to the puzzle that you can say, hey, this is what we have. Here's who we're looking to develop. And obviously you're going to want to keep certain players on the roster. Bryce Underwood is at the top of that list. So who is going to replace Sherrone Moore? That is the big question. Could you go and get a Joe Brady, who's been listed as a candidate for
No, Joe Brady is not coming to college football at all.
A lot of head coaching openings. He is someone that has a good track record. He's in the NFL. He's offensive coordinator right now for the Buffalo Bills, a great offensive mind. And if you're looking to keep Bryce Underwood, bringing in a name like that would give you.
He's already turned down Penn State and LSU and Florida. He's not taking a college job. I have it super well sourced that Joe Brady wants to go to an NFL job that has a established quarterback or has a franchise quarterback.
A head start on that endeavor. Keeping Bryce Underwood obviously is the big key. If you can keep him around, it's going to be great for this program. It's going to have a bright future if you keep him around. It's going to be tricky to find the right hire. I think that, again, you are late in the coaching carousel process. So you're going to have to pay quite a bit of money to someone because you might be paying Sherrone Moore depending on how things play out. And you're going to have to pay someone else to pay their buyout for their current school, bring them in. So how is that going to work?
Said Underwood's on the phone with Lane Kiffin right now.
Joe Brady would be an interesting fit. Jeff Brom, I know he said that at Louisville he's sticking around, but we didn't expect Michigan to come open, and maybe that's a job he wants to leave for. I don't necessarily know how many schools he'd leave Louisville for, but Michigan could be appealing enough. Again, Bryce Underwood is a nice piece to dangle in front of some of these coaches to say, look what we have, look at the potential we have, and you can bring in players to help that. Jeff Brom would fix the offensive struggles at Michigan. He knows how to find good talent in the transfer portal at wide receiver. We've seen his offenses do great things. He also has a couple players at Louisville that might follow him. So that is another good name to keep an eye on if he wants to come to Michigan. Indiana defense coordinator Brian Haynes has done great things. You look at what he did against Ohio State in the Big Ten championship.
That could be a name. I wonder if Haynes would consider that job. I like Haynes a lot. Did a really good job. I think he should win the Bros Award over Matt Patricia this year. I think he's done the most impressive job as a DC across the country. That is a good name. And honestly, that isn't an arrogant name.
That is another huge name you could potentially get. Now, whether or not Michigan wants a coordinator that is going to be a head coach or if they want a proven head coach remains the question. We're obviously early in this process. We don't know. But I think that you're going to get someone good in Bryant Haynes who's done good things under Kurt Cignetti. I know a lot of people probably put Cignetti on this list as well. He's a proven winner. He elevated Indiana to a whole different level. Maybe he's ready to take that next step to go to Michigan. Age might be a problem. So if they're worried about that, they can get somebody on his staff.
Sig would not leave Indiana for Michigan. I hate to break it to anybody.
Brian Haynes and Mike Shanahan are doing great things as the coordinators there with the Hoosiers, and it's been a fun year because of them. Arizona State's Kenny Dillingham. I know he's another one similar to Jeff Brom. He's at his alma mater. He wants to stay there as long as possible, but the right team calling is going to get him out of there, plain and simple. I firmly believe that. I don't think that we're seeing coaches
LSU called, so
stick around at places for a long period of time. So it's going to be interesting to see if Michigan is appealing enough for him to leave. Another good offensive mind that could bring in quite a bit of talent. If you're looking again to keep Bryce Underwood, bringing a guy like Dillingham gives you an appealing coach that would keep him around. Jed Fish's name has been thrown around there for quite a while. The NFL connections. It feels like he'd be a good Michigan coach if you just put the two together. Another offensive mind that can help Bryce Underwood develop into the.
I think Jed Fish might be the best bet. Might be the best guess.
Quarterback that Michigan needs him to be. So it'll be fun to see if that is a name that will be on this list as well. Now, if you're looking for other names that are kind of out there, Glenn Schumann is looking for a head coaching opportunity, it seems, and he's waiting for the right fit. Michigan would, I think, be a school that he leaves Georgia for. If he's looking truly for that opportunity.
I think Glenn Schumann is a good name, but I think he likely prefers the Southeastern Conference.
He's a good defensive mind that can keep that tradition at Michigan going, to be able to play elite defense and keep teams at bay. Then maybe that's something you do. A younger head coach that, again, your primary goal is keeping Bryce Underwood. So you don't necessarily need an offensive-minded guy because Schumann has shown that he can recruit and coach defense well enough. There are certain things that he'd bring to the table that maybe Underwood sees and thinks, okay, this is still a good position for me to stay in. Now, Kalen DeBoer I put on this list because I wonder how much pressure there is on him now, depending on what happens in the playoffs. Say they lose to Oklahoma. Are Alabama fans going to be satisfied with where he's at, or are they going to run him out of town? Maybe he's looking for a place that is still plenty of pressure, but maybe less pressure than Alabama. Following Nick Saban was always going to be tough, but following Sherrone Moore would make him a hero instantly. If he's looking for a better situation, and again, we talk about offensive mind, Kalen DeBoer, and if he brings Ryan Grubb with him, would be a great fit for Bryce Underwood to be able to develop his talent. They'd also be able to bring talent into the program to help him at wide receiver, running back, offensive line. I like what Kalen DeBoer can do at his time at Washington, his time at Alabama. It really just comes down to whether or not he wants to move on or if Alabama fans are happy with where things are going.
It's not up to the fans. It's up to the administration. And I think right now, the time of it, I think they would really do whatever it took to keep him around. Also, I don't know how attractive Michigan is as a job right now with the way they're about to get absolutely fucking gutted.
That is a name to keep an eye on because we put him at Penn State. A lot of people put him at Penn State, and it ultimately didn't work out. But maybe now.
Yeah.
And, in this big name coaches that have moved around. And there have also been coaches who were involved in searches who signed new deals at their new school or at their old school. So like Clark Lee interviewed for jobs. Like he was one of the candidates at Florida. I know he interviewed for Penn State. He ended up staying at Vandy on a new deal. Eli Drinkwitz interviewed at multiple places. He ended up staying at Mizzou on a new deal. So that makes, if you wanted to get some of these guys who are in the mix, even more expensive now because they now have bigger buyouts to pay. But I will say this, Ari, when you fire somebody for cause, you don't spend any money.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody has even a $10 million buyout to get them out of their old job.
All the coaches they just mentioned, their buyouts are a lot bigger than that. Let's see what Dave Portnoy is saying, dude. Let's see what good old Dave is saying, dude. OD, I don't think the alleged girl, I don't think she's a teenager. They said she's in her 30s. Let's see what we got, Dave. Dave Portnoy. The versatile quarterback will back up Phil Noseman this season. His father, Jim, is the director of player personnel for the Tampa Bay Bucks and one of his favorite players. Jack Thompson is John's favorite athlete, once captain of South Bend Clay High School. Gruden carries a 3.25 GPA in public relations. That's what I had. Public relations, I mean. After graduating, he would like to be the head coach of the University of Michigan. Wow. That's really cool. That'd be cool. There's no buyout attached to it. Still posting the pizza stuff.
Woo! Hey, these Wolverines, they got me feeling nicey. Woo! Hey, these Wolverines, they got me feeling nicey. Woo!
Man, twerking for it. This is almost suggesting like Michigan knew. At Michigan, if you're going to have an affair with the staffer, you better beat Ohio State and make the playoffs. That's the Michigan standard. Hashtag go blue. How much did LSU pay Lane Kiffin? Let's just double it. He'd leave, reunite him with Underwood.
Fired? Just literally got out of the shower. Sherrone Moore, fired? I feel like I know stuff. I don't know stuff. I thought he was getting another year. I don't even know what to speak. I'll just say this. And everybody better hear it loud and clear. Anybody who's part of this program, anybody who goes to this university, we don't play for 9-3 at Michigan. We don't play for 9-3 at Michigan. We play for national championships like we're doing in basketball. #1 team in the country. Clear favorite to win the whole thing. Like we did 2 years ago when we went undefeated, won the Big Ten, won the Rose Bowl, put Nick Saban in retirement, won the national title. We don't play for 9-3. We missed the playoffs 2 years in a row. At some schools, that'll get you another year. Even me, I'm like, maybe they give him another year. Not at Michigan. At Michigan, we play for national championships. Anything else, unacceptable. I'm a little bit surprised, but when you think about what it means to be a Michigan man, I guess I'm not surprised. I wish Sherrone the best of luck. Onward and upward. You need my help, you know where to find me. Great day to be a Wolverine, I think. We don't play for 9-3. We play for national titles. Let the other schools be happy with that. Not here at Michigan.
We don't play for 9-3, dude. What a nut, dude. Let's see. Let's see what good old Dave was talking about Sherrone Moore. Let's see what he had to say about him. Just want to go up here, search. We don't play for 9-3. Maybe he's been out on him. I'm about 2 seconds away from texting Jolyn and telling her to call Sherrone Moore right now and tell him he's gone if we don't let the kid throw the ball anymore. Look at my guy, man. What a mess. They're calling it the Sherronestein files. Oh no, I didn't have it. I didn't have it locked and loaded. I just literally got home, Shells, and just was like, all right, let's get on it. Pause. Yeah, dude, Spiro nailed it. Nailed it. College football with Sam. That's my guy. I'm excited to see his next video. DeBoer, Brent Key. Stay away from Brent Key. If they say no, coordinators Brian Haynes, Glenn Schumann, etc. Sherrone Moore still supposed to be suspended for 1 game in 2026. Bryce to LSU. Probably, but you never know. Jim Harbaugh. If only a little bit, sadly, no. Wow, celebrating it. Yay. Sam wanted him out of there. He wouldn't have been a candidate for the Michigan job if it came open. Do you think he's got one out yet? Do you think there's one out yet? Hey, this is like a true to form signal lost episode. Our guy Steve. Man. Let me hit the like button, man. Our guy Steve. It's our guy. That's our man's. That's our man's. Hey, lock in, guys. This is a live signal lost. I need to go get some tea, but I don't want everybody to leave. Oh my God, good old Steve. We got the Steve train. Let's go. 7 minutes ago. Let's go, dude. Thank you, Steve. Your work will not go unnoticed. All right, let's do it. Guys, you guys just got to imagine there's a spinning globe in the corner.
Go Blue, I'm Steve Dace. Welcome to a special instant reaction podcast. The University of Michigan announcing today it has fired football coach Sherrone Moore for cause. So it turns out all those crazy rumors I heard when I was in Ann Arbor back in early November for the Purdue game, and I mean, all anybody talked about were these rumors everywhere I went. Turns out they were actually true. After an investigation into the matter involving personal impropriety with Sherrone Moore and
just a politician, the way he like perks up every like other sentence, and I'm like, you guys know Steve does like political stuff too. He like does the woota, woota. Let's go, Steve.
Subordinate in the athletic department, the University of Michigan found there was just cause to fire him today, and so they did. So the matters of his case and his impropriety will come out in the coming days as details of the investigation become confirmed. I will tell you, this is beyond a Mel Tucker scenario of a guy just pleasuring himself while on the phone with a woman. But those sort of details are for an investigation to confirm, not for me. Let's talk about football for a second. And strictly from a football perspective, this is the perfect time for something like this to happen, meaning a coaching change. Let me explain.
Perfect time to happen? I'm not sure how much I agree with that. I think that's a little reckless. I think that's a little reckless to suggest. Let's set a goal. We'll do. Oh, I appreciate you, Don.
We are in the middle of the academic calendar now. If you're on semesters, you're done.
All right. I'm going to go throw my tea in the microwave. I'll be right back. My bad, guys. We're back.
Go Blue, I'm Steve Dace. Welcome to a special instant reaction podcast. The University of Michigan announcing today it has fired football coach Sherrone Moore for cause. So it turns out all those crazy rumors I heard when I was in Ann Arbor back in early November for the Purdue game, and I mean, all anybody talked about were these rumors everywhere I went. Turns out they were actually true. After an investigation into the matter involving personal impropriety with Sherrone Moore and a subordinate in the athletic department, the University of Michigan found there was just cause to fire him today, and so they did. So the matters of his case and his impropriety will come out in the coming days as details of the investigation become confirmed. I will tell you, this is beyond a Mel Tucker scenario of a guy just pleasuring himself while on the phone with a woman.
I'm glad Mel Tucker got a mention. It's funny because I thought that there's two routes usually, and I thought Steve Dace was gonna do like the really annoying thing where he like says, yeah, like at least there was like two consenting adults, but like what the think about what fucking Mel Tucker did, and obviously like that's an annoying answer. But it does seem like he is gonna try to be at least thoughtful enough. I heard I played it already, but the tweet that he put out saying like this is like the best time from a football perspective for this to happen is so incorrect, like so incorrect.
But those sort of details are for an investigation to confirm, not for me. Let's talk about football for a second. And strictly from a football perspective, this is the perfect time for something like this to happen.
Not true.
Meaning a coaching change.
1,000% false.
Let me explain. We are in the middle of the academic calendar now. If you're on semesters, you're done for another month. If you're on trimesters, you're almost done. So we're not interfering with an academic calendar. The portal still isn't open for almost another month.
This is where he's wrong, unless I'm 100% wrong. I mean, your portal gets triggered immediately. Yeah, the portal's open for another month, so I guess you could say the stance is you can hire someone, can try to recruit the roster, but they don't, like the portal gets open up, like it's like automatic trigger. I don't know. I firmly disagree.
We're post signing day, and yes, by rule, those young people we just signed have 30 days now of an exclusive window to go out and solicit other offers, and we may lose a few of those young men. But yeah, for most of them, we were the best offer they had, both in terms of stature and payment and compensation. So,
is that a real Michigan fan? Would Buckeye fans ever think of adopting a sick of Michigan fan? I'm so tired of being jealous of you guys. The program is a joke up here. I'm in Florida. That's why I stay up there. Wow. All right. Hey, Don, make sure nobody moves. I'm going to grab my tea. Oopty.
This is the perfect time to make this kind of a hire. We're the only school open. Not to mention, we're one of the biggest brands in the entire sport. And I know within Michigan message board communities, Athletic Director Ward Manuel is not held in high regard, but I can tell you, corporately in his peer group, he's held in very high regard. And some of his most recent hires are a top 5 women's basketball coach at the moment, the number 1 hockey coach at the moment, and the number 1 or number 2 men's basketball coach at the moment. There's going to be plenty of resources here. At worst, you'll get a chance to make a pitch to a 5-star quarterback in Bryce Underwood to get him to stay. At worst, that's what you're going to get an opportunity to do. Michigan will have no problem filling this position. And the truth of the matter is we're going to hire a coach way better than what we had. And if we game theory this all out with the likely outcome, even without the sordid alleged behavior here, which isn't too alleged apparently from Sherrone Moore, if we just set that aside, the least likely outcome 1 year from now is that he was going to show he was a way better coach than he had his first 2 years, and with next year's schedule, get us to 10-2 and into the playoffs. It was at least 50-50, that we were doing this 1 year from now. At least 50-50. And then you don't know who else you're competing with in the coaching carousel. Now, we're competing with nobody. And to me, there are 7 names of coaches that I would call. I'll see if I can remember them all off the top of my head. I posted them on X already. But the number 1 coach I'm calling Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator with the Buffalo Bills. I'm calling him first. Josh Allen.
Not coming. It's not coming. And don't lie about Joe Brady and Josh Allen. Do not lie about that.
Has become even better.
Okay.
And look what he did to the passing game, at LSU. Just revolutionized Joe Burrow as a quarterback there. And that's probably somebody that keeps. In fact, I think if you looked at pretty much every coach on this list, these are all guys I think that keep Bryce Underwood here with.
But these are all guys that said no to better jobs. This is the fucking issue I have with these fucking Michigan podcasts, and this is why their fucking fans are so fucking delusional. You aren't better than a lot of these jobs that were open. You're not. You're just not. I know the brand's big, I know the fan base is big, I know you try to match what Ohio State has, but the biggest fucking frustrating thing is that, like, I'm going to have to deal with these arrogant-ass, crazy Michigan fans because people like Steve, people like whoever, like people like the podcast that we listened to earlier, they all think that Michigan is some fucking premier cream of the crop job. Like, no, Lincoln Riley would not leave USC for Michigan, like we saw earlier. Like, no, like fucking Joe Brady, who said no to fucking LSU already, said no to LSU multiple times. Like, said no, I don't want to do it. Said no to Penn State. No, like for Joe Brady, it's always been, I want an NFL job and I want a place with a quarterback already. He's not coming to Michigan. Like, there's a idea that like that fuck me, that Sig would go over there. Sig's not coming. Sig's going to go to Penn State. Sig has Mark Cuban and another billionaire that are gonna fund the whole thing. Like, oh, well, Brom told people no. Here's the thing: it's really gonna hurt them when like a guy like Brent Key tells them no. It's really gonna hurt them when a Jeff Brom tells them no. But they'll lie and spin it. I mean, honestly, Gruden, Kelly, or a coordinator. They're not going to get one of these big supers. They're not going to get DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer's dream job was Michigan. Michigan didn't hire him. Went a different way. He went to Alabama. No, he is not going to leave Alabama and go to Michigan. Right now, Michigan is going to get absolutely fucking detonated, like blown up. And when it's like when you have a ball, no, not even a ball. It's like you have a bunch of water balloons and you throw them, and when it hits something, it splatters everywhere, right? And what that is, that's going to be the Michigan roster. And the splatter is going to be Indiana. I'm going to take some talent. Michigan State, I'm going to take some talent. Penn State, I'm Matt Campbell. I'm going to take some talent. I mean, fuck, dude. Like, no, they're not getting those guys. Like, what an insane fucking thing. And it's like just dawned upon me that the reason the Michigan fans think they can get everybody in the world is because the people that cover their program lie nonstop. And also, there's no way that Spiro had all this for several months, for like 6 months, they're saying, and nobody from Michigan had a clue about it. Like, there's no way, but the Michigan media will lie to you. The same way there was no way that Michigan media didn't know about Alex Yu. No, they knew and had the video, but they just lied to protect the university. So this is going to be a fucking shit show. If you're a Michigan podcaster, please don't say Sig. Don't be lazy. Like, don't say Sig. Like, fuck's sake. They drive me fucking insane.
With their track records.
You're supposed to be fucking smarter than this, Steve.
But I'm going to call Joe Brady first.
I do also think they have someone lined up. I don't think it's one of these super mega star names they thought. I think that Michigan knew about this. Michigan media also probably knew about this, but everyone held their tongue because I'm sure that Michigan wanted to do a coaching search before they pulled the trigger and fired him.
Calling Clark Lee at Vanderbilt second. He's managed to come up with a wide open offense and a tough, gritty culture team as well. He's got Midwest ties with Notre Dame.
That's actually not a bad one.
Now, he's at his alma mater. Maybe he wants to stay there. I'm going to make him tell me no. I mean, that guy's just got Michigan football coach 21st century written all over him. That's like if Lloyd Carr believed in a wide open passing attack, he would be Clark Lee. Those are the kinds of coaches that I think fit here. Unfortunately, this waited a week because I think Matt Campbell would have, walked over broken glass to take our job. In fact, I know he would have, and that would have been a tremendous hire. But that's an opportunity cost. This is still a pretty strong list. Next name I'm calling, Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. He wanted this job 2 years ago.
Oh my God, he wanted it 2 years ago. He doesn't want it now. What the fuck? He's not leaving Alabama for that job. He's not doing it. He's the reason. You want to know why Michigan are so arrogant and insane? No, stop doing that. Give realistic fucking options instead of ones that will get clicks.
You may want out of Alabama. The opportunity to get ahead of the pop.
He may want out of Alabama. He had 4 opportunities to get out of Alabama, and he said, no, I'm cool, I'm chilling, and everything was honestly like the Penn State floor mills.
Yeah, well, Steve, they're in the playoffs, yeah, but they lost 3 games. He's lost 3 games 2 years in a row at Alabama. He doesn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, Sherrone Moore lost 3 games, and y'all try to find a way to get him the fuck up out of there.
Next year, he could be gone. I mean, it's just it's hard being the guy that follows the guy, which is another reason why this will be a very coveted job. You're not replacing Jimmy. You're replacing Sherrone, right? You're not following the guy. You're following the guy that followed the guy. So this is the perfect time for Michigan to hire a new coach. All right, so Joe Brady, Clark Lee. I'm going to call Kalen DeBoer. I'm trying to remember the rest of the names.
Just say it. Like, say, oh, God.
I'm trying to remember the rest of the names on my list. I'm calling Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State. I'm calling Jeff Brom at Louisville. Jed Fish was my number 4 name. I'm calling Jed Fish, the former Michigan assistant. I'm calling him at Washington. This is a pretty impressive list, guys, and they're all dramatic upgrades in terms of resume over what we had. And then the 7th name on my list, I'm going to call Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri. Good coach. I think his personality would play very well here. But
Drink said no to Penn State and used that to get a raise. I think Penn State and Michigan are likely closer in job covetedness than people realize.
He'd be 7th on my list. But again, I think he'd be a dramatic upgrade over what we had in Sherrone Moore. I think we were at least 50-50 that we were doing this 12 months from now. Now we get to do it. And let me reset now. You don't have to follow Jim Harbaugh. You take over a program with almost limitless resources, one of the biggest brands in the sport. At worst, you get an opportunity to make a closing pitch to a 5-star quarterback. At worst. The portal does
a quarterback, but when you check the Carfax, that thing's been in 14 accidents and has fucking 80,000 miles on it.
Doesn't open for another month. Last year's class is already signed. Yes, they'll get a chance to go into the portal, but you get a chance to recruit all those guys. And again, we're the best program most of those guys had lined up. Most of them are going to stay probably. So this is the perfect time. We're not competing with anybody else.
Hold on. What the fuck did he just say?
You get a chance to recruit all those guys. And again, we're the best program most of those guys had lined up. Most of them are going to stay probably.
He's out of his fucking mind. Andrew Marsh, get ready to learn Trojan or Indiananin.
So this is the perfect time. We're not competing with anybody else. We have the whole field to ourselves. We have an athletic director who, again, despite what we think.
Thomas, I cover everybody in the Big Ten. Shut the fuck up.
Internally in the Michigan message board community, externally, there's a reason why he was the face of the College Football Playoff Committee. Ward Manuel's held in high esteem. Guy hired Dusty May. Guy hired Kim Barnes-Arico. Guy hired Brandon Arado with the hockey program. Again, that's number 1, number 5, number 2. I mean, for those caught in the middle of Sherrone's impropriety, this is obviously terrible for them and awful for them on a personal level. And from what it appears, based on the university's actions today, Sherrone's behavior, the rumored behavior, was indeed confirmed and deplorable. Setting aside the human cost, though, from a football perspective, the timing of this could not be any better for the University of Michigan, for all the reasons I've already itemized. And I think one of the 7 names I just gave you, I think one of those 7 names will be the next Michigan football coach. I'd put it at least 90%. And I think they are all.
Name 7 names. I put it at 90%. Oh my God, I can't wait for the pod where that is not the case. And here's the thing, like, we're going to come back a couple months from now. People are going to be talking about, like, PJ Fleck is a great hire.
Dramatic upgrades over what we had. All right. So keep it tuned here. We'll, of course, have plenty of reaction and coverage as the search now unfolds and begins.
We just broke a little while ago. ESPN, the first to report that Sherrone Moore is out as the head football coach at the University of Michigan. In a statement, Michigan is saying that Moore was involved in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. So he has been terminated with cause, effective immediately. Sherrone Moore out of a job at Michigan. Assistant Biff Poggi is going to take over as the head coach as they get ready for the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl against Texas on New Year's Eve.
Wow. Yeah, can't do it. Can't do it. Was he married? I would assume.
Yo, chill out, Doug.
I don't know if he is or isn't. But yeah.
Whatever. It's done. It's done. So now the question becomes, who's the next head coach at Michigan? I mean, Jesse Minter becomes the easy call. I think he's done a
Okay, Jesse Minter, what he had the 1-year show cause, not the 25-year show cause like the other guys.
great job as defense coordinator with the Chargers. Then that seemed to make sense. Keeps it in that Michigan family, and he was the DC when they won the national championship.
This was Doug. This was us just a few within the last hour. And Sam, you're saying that he is married?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yes. But this was us talking about not knowing about the news that was going to come down about Doug. You posed the question about maybe Marcus Freeman leaving Notre Dame, possibly to a new job. This is what we said earlier. If Ryan Day were to leave tomorrow, Marcus Freeman being a candidate at the top, would be definitely top the list of anybody out there of taking that job. But would that even be the timing of the move?
You guys think the Valenti show's even out right now? Oh my God.
Call. All right, so Sherrone Moore has been fired with cause. So Rico noped me, but the nope was inappropriate.
No,
read the statement.
I just wanted to make sure.
I know.
Get in trouble.
All right, so
No, this is nuts. It's already out. They worked so fast.
Sherrone Moore has been fired with cause. So Rico noped me, but the nope was inappropriate. Read the statement.
I just wanted to make sure.
I know.
Get in trouble.
I know.
My friend.
Thank you.
Statement from University of Michigan Athletic Director Ward Manuel. U of M head coach, football coach Sherrone Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately following the university investigation. Credible evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. This conduct constitutes a clear violation of university policy, and U of M maintains a zero tolerance for such behavior. Biff Poggi has been appointed head football coach in the interim, effective immediately.
Okay.
This is crazy, man. Like having like your affair blasted all over the TL is absolutely insane.
So there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, I don't think the fan base really cares. I'd say at least half of them wanted Sherrone gone. So let's just start there. 2, you can't be serious with Biff Poggi as your head coach. So let's just view that as a table setter. To the question of, well, who could they get? Everyone's done all the hiring. I want to remind you of something. This is important. Okay. 99% of jobs have no impact on a job like Michigan, meaning you weren't looking at John Sumrall. Okay. Right? You weren't looking at Eric Morris. You weren't looking at a lot of these coaches. They're not in your sphere.
Yeah, they're not in your price range.
So here's the other thing.
But
okay, go ahead.
You had 2 schools out there, in my opinion, that are on Michigan's level in their tax bracket. When you had Penn State and you had Florida, 3, and LSU all out there. They're considered blue bloods like Michigan.
But you were never hiring Lane Kiffin.
No.
And you don't want Lane, especially if you clipped your last coach for this.
No, but I'm looking at just the struggles that a Penn State had. And are you walking into that same trap that Penn State was like?
Maybe. I don't have that. Listen, this is the blessing and the curse of live radio. We're working through this together. I don't want to say things I can't take back. The last piece of this is, obviously, if they were 13-0 and in the playoff right now, there's absolutely no way they fire him. If they managed to cover it up or wait to fire him until after signing day, well, then they would have waited till after the playoff or longer.
Correct.
And I know we're going to get a million calls too about Bryce Underwood. I have no idea. Look, I've been clear about this from the beginning. Sporty. No, it ain't got nothing to do with me. My school doesn't even qualify. If I'm Bryce Underwood, I never would have gone to Michigan. Made no.
Bingo. I'm glad he's saying it. Honestly, it's funny because a lot of Michigan fans really hate what he generally has to say in terms of like commentary on their program. But he was right about this the whole time. Like Bryce Underwood had no business going there. No business going there. And it's funny because if they want to bring in a coach to keep him, it's going to cost a lot of money because all the offensive minds are expensive. But the coaches that I think everybody are floating out there are not realistic options, or not at all.
They don't.
Honestly, I think they should worry about finding the best coach available instead of trying to worry about a coach that can keep Underwood, because that'd be a mess.
Run an offense that fits him. They don't run an offense that develops him. It's dumb. It was dumb then. It's dumb now. After a season, he didn't even throw 10 touchdowns. I have no idea. He got life-changing money. God bless. I don't begrudge him that. But would I stick around to be coached by Biff Poggi? No. But again, I don't, let me be up front. I don't care. He could stay, he could go, whatever. He might be good. He might be awful. Wasn't any good this year.
Maybe you bring in an offensive-minded coach and you unleash all.
But it shouldn't. Here's the thing. It's not just like an offensive-minded coach that you unleash. You need to have a developing coach, but also you cannot put the development over Bryce Underwood ahead of the entire program in its totality.
What we're going to hear, too, so let's get this out of the way. Well, the game that Biff coached, Bryce was great. It was Central Michigan. You may as well have played the Plumbers Union.
Did you say that for the people in
the back? It was Central Michigan. Results are void.
They also beat Nebraska with Biff, and that was the best they looked all year because Biff allowed Underwood to run, so I'm not going to let you squeeze it like that.
300-something yards.
It was Central Michigan. So, look, what is your view on this? And, look, I'm in no position, and Rico's in no position. I'm not going to rub your nose in it. You've already had your fill of scandals. So is our school.
Right. It was.
Yeah, what am I going to do? Make fun of your coach and what he does with his dipstick? Newsflash. Let's go live to the Holiday Inn Express with Mel Tucker. Like, what am I going to say?
Correct. Now, it's just one of those.
Aware. I can dismantle you without talking about what he did. I can talk about the coach. I don't know. Bad deal.
When I heard the rumors, I'm like, and I asked around, they're like, man, these rumors have been around for a long time. They're not true. So I just dismissed them as, Okay. But then Michigan hit us with a two-piece combo today and said, no, we did an investigation. They are true. Zero tolerance. He's
Fired with cause.
And
after we got our class signed.
And I mean, not poor him, but he can't even get a job someplace because he's got to show cause for the other stuff as well.
Yeah, but you and I, okay, this is the problem I have in all of this. Look, Sherrone, how do I put this politely?
Should have never been considered for the Michigan job to begin with, is how you say it politely.
I don't need to be polite. Look, Sherrone never should have had this job. He was the only guy capable of taking the job because all the rats had left the boat.
And no credible coach was going to take the job.
Thank you. So Michigan used him as their Lee Harvey, their patsy.
And you're right.
The plan was always to get Sherrone Moore fired from the sounds of it to me.
All this was.
If Michigan were in the college football playoffs, he wouldn't be fired until the day afterwards. Because if you're going to fire him, you're going to fire him before signing day. But I don't even think signing day, the letter of intent is that binding anymore because all of these guys could go jump in the portal that opens up in a few days. So
well, that's the key is if you're going to have a head coach hiring, it has to happen before January 4th. Is that the portal or January 2nd?
Second.
Look, you could make a case. You have Biff as the interim. But see, now this is what I hate. So now we're going to be in the business of what? You're going to talk to Bryce's parents? Hey, is this okay with you? See, that's the problem in all of this.
Yeah, Michigan cannot put Bryce Underwood ahead of their university.
Kid, he wasn't any good. And he has to take a major leap forward to play even remotely championship caliber football because you won't have a schedule as easy as this was this year. The Sherrone Moore thing on surface, I don't care. I don't think he's a good coach. Now, he's a recruiter, but then you could make an argument. You know, my dog could recruit to Michigan. They've always recruited well. They always will.
It is Michigan.
So,
I mean, I just look at what happened with Penn State and how we thought, okay, they fired their coach early in James Franklin. They're going to have enough time to go and get the best person available. And in the end,
you got to have Mel Tucker and Sherrone do a podcast together.
Hosted by Charles Ramsey.
Perfect. The Something Is Wrong Here pod.
The Something Is Wrong Here pod. It's a great idea. Someone jack it.
Now, wait a minute. You both lost all of these millions over what?
Lynn, just real quick, can you explain why his relationship was an issue? It wasn't someone on the football program. Michigan has a zero tolerance policy, and also he was her boss. She worked for him. She was special assistant to the head coach. He promoted her after he got the job, and Michigan has a zero tolerance policy. Even if it was not a staffer, I believe you can't get fired for cheating on your significant other.
248-539-9797. Guys, you tell us. I need Michigan fans on a snowy commute home. You tell me where you're at. I know your hearts aren't bleeding that Sherrone is gone, but who are they hiring?
Because remember, a lot of coaches got raises and bumped up through this whole coaching cycle, so they're locked in for a little bit longer, and they're going to cost you more money if you're going to poach them.
Unless
Brian Kelly?
No, he's washed. He's done. He quit at LSU. He didn't want to recruit.
Brian Kelly's the last one at the bar.
He's like Hugh Freeze. He played more golf than practices. You don't want Brian Kelly. Michigan can do better than that.
They gonna bring Harbaugh back?
No,
what?
what?
I'm kidding.
All right, we'll get to.
Wild. Let me see. Let me find this. How do I work this app? Yeah. Yo. Why can't I hear you? Let me. Talk to me.
Yo.
One more time, Ron.
Hello.
Yep, there you go. I got you. What up, dude?
We on stream already?
No, I'm still on stream. You're on stream right now.
Okay, bet.
Yeah, it's just your picture's not on stream, but you're on stream.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Dude, this is a mess, dude. I did not think this was gonna happen today.
No. Did anyone think it was gonna happen today? I didn't think it was gonna happen at all. We've been hearing these rumors from Spiro for weeks, and I'm just like, all right, Spiro, like you've had plenty to say over the past couple years in regards to Michigan cheating scandals, but apparently this one he got right.
Yeah, bro, he nailed this one. That makes me think that Michigan had it for a while.
Oh yeah, I mean, you had Steve Dace. You had the clip up where he said he was in Ann Arbor a few weeks ago, and it's all he could hear about.
Yeah, that was like the big rumor mill. Oh, also, dude, I don't know if you saw this. Fucking they're saying that Sherrone Moore was arrested.
I literally read that right before I got on here. I don't know how true. I mean, Spiro has been has been spot on with everything so far. It'd be risky to run out to the timeline with something like that unverified after you're in the middle of a victory lap, unless you're feeling yourself so much it's like a heat check.
Yeah, no, do they put him on the Coldplay meme? Hold up, dude. Was Sherrone Moore really arrested?
I can't find anything verifying it, other than Spiro and one other guy tweeting it, and the dude tweeted it 50 minutes ago. So if it happened 50 minutes ago, I'd imagine it would be out there by now. No,
It probably would be. I mean, 50. I don't know. I don't know when things happen. I don't know how quickly things happen. Someone said it's the wrinkly old fuck making stuff up for clicks. Dude, if he got arrested, that would be absurd, bro. There's no way, right? But like right now, like why would you tweet something like that? Like this feels like a time where everything I fire is going to be stuff that I have.
Yeah, I mean, you have so much to sit on. This is your moment, your victory lap. You've been right about this for how many weeks? Why throw it all away now? Just guessing with this report, but that would be insanely wild. I wanted to circle back a little bit to what you were talking about earlier in regards to timing and how long Michigan must have known about this. Does it make is that sleazy that if they've known all this time and had any inkling that they were going to fire Sherrone Moore, that you would let 20 plus kids sign an NIL or NLI?
Dog, it's super sleazy, but are you shocked by it? Like that's super sleazy. There's no way that they didn't know about this before, right? Like if Spiro's been talking, honestly, it sounds like from gathering, like just my own conspiracy like interpretation, that Michigan had this and knew they could use it and had kind of been probing behind the scenes to see what coach they could get, like performing a coaching search from behind closed doors. And then once they maybe got their guy or like got a couple names that would be interested, and they just pulled the trigger, or they did it right now because it was picking up too much steam and it was going to come out. And that would have been even uglier. So you want to kind of get ahead of it before it hits like the super public eye, because it was kind of like really being pushed heavy in a lot of Michigan circles.
Yeah, and the fact that they were able to keep it under wraps this long, because, I mean, you have both of these people allegedly in the building at some point. I don't know how long her tenure with the staff lasted, but if this is going on in the building before it even gets out or even becomes a scandal, there already has to be whispers in the building, like with coworkers, like, do you see the way these two interact? Like,
well,
there had to have been some sort of inkling in the building.
Yeah, he promoted her his first day on the job.
Oh, so do you think this goes back like to to offensive coordinator days?
Well, she had been on the staff, and then he promoted her as soon as he became the head coach.
No, that's what I'm asking you. Do you think, like, it sounds like she had some equity built up already before the promotion? Like, did anything happen before that? How long has this affair been going on? Was it happening before Sherrone was even the head coach? That's why I'm saying he became the head coach and she gets a promotion. It's like, okay, well, she's like, oh, I pick you, now you're a promotion, and then like tried to break the ice, or did he already know her?
I think my guess is this isn't something that happens at that point. I think I would say it was already locked. You know, like this is kind of where I would go. Like they were already.
Yeah, well, then it makes you look side eye at Jimmy Harbaugh. Like what all was going on in your building?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
too busy trying to cover up a cheating scandal, Alex Ude, and a computer scandal that you missed the fact that your offensive coordinator was cheating on his wife in the building.
Dude, like literally, like this is a crazy like grouping of like culture issues, and like and Spiro's reporting that she got an abortion allegedly, and that Sherrone Moore paid for it allegedly. Like that's the next layer in his reporting.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait for more verified reporting on that, but if true, that's crazy and unsurprising that Michigan was prepared to move on.
Yeah, this is a mess, dog. I think this is horrible timing. Obviously, like I just listened to a little bit of Steve Dace, Steve was talking about, like this is a good timing football wise. I don't know what coach they'll be able to get.
I'm seeing a lot of people saying Jimmy Rogers to Michigan, the Iowa State coach that they hired in like 32 minutes after Matt Campbell left. I heard you talk about the Kalen DeBoer rumors. I mean, we've been getting text about Kalen DeBoer interested in a Michigan job for weeks, and we're like, Michigan? Where's Sherrone going? Like, they're the 2-loss team at the time, hadn't lost to Ohio State. Why would they be firing their coach, even if, like, I could understand why, because people didn't think he should have got the job in the first place. But the fact that you made it this far with him, you would have thought he would at least made it another year before they fired him for performance, and it seemed like they would have if they didn't get a get out of jail free card with this one. As far as not only did you get to get rid of Sherrone Moore, which is a hire that you felt like you were forced into, you probably realized about a year in that you made a mistake, and now you get a get out of jail free card by him not only getting fired, but fired for cause.
Fired for cause. Now, his bio wasn't that big anyway, but yeah, no, fired for cause. And I believe he's got a show cause in next year, so he can't even get hired by next year.
And get out of jail free card of like, hey, we don't even have to pretend like this is even a debate of whether or not we should hire you or not, fire you or not for performance. Like, get out of here. Like, we don't even have to debate about what you're doing on the field. Is it good enough? Is it close enough? Are you doing enough on the recruiting? No, leave. You're gone. We can press reset on this post-Harbaugh edition of Michigan immediately, because now you have officially wiped your hands clean of, okay, I took Harbaugh's guy and what was remaining from that staff. That's get everybody out of there.
Yeah, they need to blow up and restart. I just don't know who it's going to be with. And it's funny because, like, I don't think it'll be DeBoer. I know DeBoer wanted the job years ago, but I've heard that the Bama like unhappiness is more like Bama fans being frustrated that he's not Nick Saban. It's like, okay, well, what the fuck? Like, who is? Obviously, like the all the ties to Penn State. Like, I thought if he wanted to get out of Bama so bad, he just would have went to Penn State, and that obviously didn't end up happening. Like I like Drink got an extension, Brom got an extension, Brent Key got an extension. I mean, the one guy that's kind of available and didn't get the extension is Marcus Freeman, but like if he goes somewhere, it'll be like to New York Giants or to another NFL team, because he won't leave Notre Dame for that job. But like, dude, this is going to continue to help Sig, man. I'm thinking of this like, damn, like they're going to add Andrew Marsh, aren't they? Like they're going to add a bunch of guys on that team. That Michigan team was, I believe, like one of the 3 youngest teams in the Big Ten. They were really fucking young.
One of the youngest teams in the Big Ten, and how many of these contracts are you honoring if you're Michigan?
I mean, there's got to be a clause in there. We don't have to honor any of them, right? Like, I wonder if the new coach coming in, if having to honor the Bryce Underwood thing might be a hindrance, because I think Bryce Underwood's a horrible culture fit. I think like his attitude is poor. I think he's not that great of a quarterback, just a good athlete. I don't think a new coach would even want him, to be honest.
Are we potentially running into like our next edition of like a Jaden Rashada type of landmark moment with NIL, as far as like get everything in writing, make sure you read the contracts twice through? Because I promise you this, wherever Bryce Underwood ends up next year, he's not going to be getting paid $4 million a year for 9 touchdowns.
Not even close. I mean, there's got to be a clause in there that like if this is only a contract with this current coach and regime. If they didn't do it like that, they're idiots.
Oh, I'm talking about it might be a lesson for Bryce Underwood. Like, hey, if you end up only getting 4 out of this first year with Michigan, and say you get 1.5 these next 2, and you turn down 11 with LSU to come be the hometown hero in the middle of this shit show, coming off of one of the biggest scandals in NCAA history recently, and you decide to still sign up for that because of the money, and it's like, okay, is the $4 million left on the table worth the
no
you ended up
dude
losing out on?
It might be your next installment of DJ Uiagalelei, DJ Lagway, Bryce Underwood, Nico Alamieva. Like, we're talking about like that's like the class that he could be entering with some of this move.
Absolutely. And then with some of the names that you just mentioned, like Dominic Raiola just got fired at Nebraska. What's the status of Dylan Raiola when it comes to the transfer market?
Wouldn't that be a cool story? Fuck me. They go get a coordinator. I mean, Haynes, whoever, and then you get Raiola at Michigan.
Well, I was just saying that was going to be more competition of people that are going to be paid more than Bryce Underwood in the portal. There's so many more established names. I mean, you still have Lenore Sellers still could potentially come back to school. You still have whatever happens at Florida. Does DJ Lagway decide to stick it out? What other name? I mean, hell, how many people were talking about Fernando Mendoza? Me and you were talking about Fernando Mendoza at this point last year.
Yeah.
But not many people were. So who's the next name that pops up? Where does Bryce Underwood fall in that pecking order? At this point now, he's already played 12 games. You're to the point of your career where we're not talking about stars in high school games anymore. We watched you play college football last year. There is no more speculation. There is no upside there is upside, but we've already seen where you're at right now as far as the college level. Who's signing up to overpay for that?
I mean, I'm not. Fuck, I'm not. But I did want him to lose to Tavian St. Clair. I think that's where I'm kind of bummed about it because I'm fully of the belief that he will not be there. He's not going to be there. So.
No.
Dude, he's doubling down on that Sherrone Moore was arrested.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things that I was reading allegedly were that.
Dude, the chat says it sounds like you're on the phone. I was like, Doc, he's on our Discord call. This is new for them. They're used to you sounding like a pro, which you are a pro.
Am I not on my main mic?
Oh no, I think you're just on like a. I thought you were on just a regular mic. No, you're good. Dude. You don't have to change it. I was just laughing about it because it's like this is the first time we've done like the Discord creator thing.
How do I sound now?
Oh shit! There you go. Look, guys. He's fine. It's a Discord call. We're being like real commentators, right? Commentator community.
Well, is it better now?
Yeah, you sound like you're fucking in my room with me now.
I think I had the wrong mic input on Discord. I literally just opened up the app and answered the call.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean that's how Discord is, dude. I have no qualms with it. That's why it's Discord. It's like more of a call. But no, he's there, dude. He's doubling down on the arrest thing. Do you think he got arrested, Ron? Oh fuck.
I don't even want to
I don't think he did, but that would be crazy if he did.
I don't think he. That would just be an insane layer to the story and the ultimate crash out. That I can't see it. Hopefully, he has someone in his corner that prevented that from happening. Because there's no way after you've done this much damage to your reputation that you're going to go out and confirm that you never coach again if you go out and do something insane.
Yeah, dude. Can I read you this Sam Webb post from when the rumors first hit?
I'm seeing a tweet from seconds ago. Sherrone Moore arrested on my street in Ann Arbor. Craziest crash out 2A scene since. I'm not even gonna read that last part.
Just send it to me. I'll read it. Wait, dude. I got the fucking Sam Webb post out on his site from before. Remember when the rumor first started, Sam Webb had this to say. A salacious rumor about Sherrone Moore surfaced earlier today and sadly has been spreaded as fact. It wasn't reported by a credible source, but that hasn't stopped it from spreading. I won't give it credence by reposting it here, especially since other programs are using it in recruiting and their attempts to break up the class and push current players to the portal. Here's what I can say on the matter after digging. No, he hasn't been, nor has he been slated to be fired, and no, there hasn't been any evidence of any misconduct. It's sad to think of the extra life this rumor gained from Saturday's life. That's crazy. Crazy lie there from Sam Webb.
I mean, and that's the most Sam Webb thing ever, lying for Michigan. And people used to get so frustrated when we called him Scam Webb and asked, like, why do we have such a disdain for this man? And it's like, because he is a liar and he just carries water for the university and will lie. But it also shows what a nobody he is in the university, that you didn't even see that. Like, that should show you the type of nobody in connection that he is, that you're Mr. 247, you're Mr. Insider, you're who Bud Elliott has you on for summer school to represent Michigan, and you're talking about this rumor, you know what's going on. They're in the process of getting rid of this man as the head coach, and you don't even see it coming. And that's the way you're talking, like, oh, I heard the rumors. So you're plugged in enough to hear the rumors, but not plugged in enough to hear that they're getting his ass out of there.
Yeah, bro.
That's why he's a clown.
I mean, dude, he did the thing with Alex Ude, man. All those guys had the Alex Ude story. Nobody ran with it. Oh, here's this, dude. Somebody already has a list of her financial records. They basically doubled her salary, or a 55% increase in her salary.
They're saying that Sherrone Moore, the reports that keep coming out is that he broke into his assistant's house and is threatening to
delete himself.
unalive himself.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
That shit is crazy, dude.
I mean, prayers to him and his family. You don't want to see that type of crash out over all of this. I mean, they're probably already going through enough. I mean, he's put them through enough. I mean, you got to be like that.
Dude, this is back-to-back disgraced coaches, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, with this one, like, you've already put enough shame on your family. You need to be a man and face the music and be around to raise your family, not.
Dude, they literally, someone traced back when the alleged affair started, and like within the month of the alleged affair, like I guess starting is when she got a $40,000 raise.
And like, bro, why are you putting a? Like, he's bro.
Hey, he's stupid.
He's so green, bro. Why are you putting that on? I was about to say, like, bro, all right, cool. You're gonna cheat on your wife, whatever. You're gonna trick, whatever. Why are you doing it with Chris? I will never understand. Like, how many people could possibly work for the University of Michigan versus the amount of women in the world? Why?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Why at work?
I don't know.
Why at work? I would bet money there are coaches in college football now whose girlfriends attend the game that their wife is at. And you don't hear shit about it. How the hell are you dating someone in the facility?
Bro, this shit'll make Lane Kiffin look like a legend. Lane Kiffin's a hero. It never was it a staffer. Never was he giving money out. He must have fell in love, man. Fall in love with the workplace is real. You spend a lot of you spend a lot of time with the workplace, you can fall in love there. That's real.
Speaking from experience?
Nah, it's like Camp Crush, right?
I just wasn't sure if you and Zach, like, the cameras go off, it gets a little broke back in the studio. You and Pat, I don't know. I see, you know what I mean? Who knows?
You feel me? Proximity and opportunity, the forbidden fruit. Man, hey, would you take Jordan Marshall to Ohio State?
No, I'd take Savion Hyder, the better running back that's still a freshman and has never put on a Michigan uniform.
What?
I'll take Carter Meadows. Raid that class right now. I said they should be calling them. Ryan Day should be on a FaceTime with a money phone with Carter Meadows right now. Like, you tell me the number, and I will drive to pick you up from Ann Arbor and get your shit here and get you set up in a nice house in Columbus.
Guess what?
Just in time for the spring semester.
Guess what? Those kids are going to Indiana.
No, they're not.
Yes,
you think
they
they're
are.
getting? No, they're not.
Look,
you're crazy.
You know who's going to wait, so Andrew Marsh, I bet, is going to USC if he stays in the Big Ten, or he'll go to LSU with or without Underwood. Don't know.
Wait. Is he not a Texas kid?
Marsh?
Yeah.
He is a Texas kid.
And you think a freshman from Texas is about to hit the portal with a desire to play wide receiver at a high level, and you don't think that Sark is going to be spinning the block on that?
I don't know what Sark's got going on over there, dog. They just lost CJ Baxter
to the portal.
You said what?
To the portal?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. That's news to me.
Yeah, they're starting to lose some offensive players to the portal, so I don't know what's going on over there. I mean, Marsh just feels like a Trojan to me, and this is like speculation. Like, he just feels like that body type for a USC wide receiver. What USC's been able to do the wide receiver position. I mean, that just feels like where I would go if I were him, to be honest.
He's from right outside of Houston. I mean, I would imagine every single one of those schools in Texas makes a call.
Texas Tech, for shit sure. Texas Tech's got Brad Bands, all that.
Texas Tech, SMU.
Yeah, but
Houston?
No, but he's too like he's a real like playoff contender player.
Yeah, but it's not like he's serious about wide receiver development because he went to Michigan.
Brother, he thought that shit was gonna work because they hired Chip Lindsey, they had Bryce Underwood. He got sold I'm telling you, man. Look, Jordan.
Yeah, and then he had Bryce Underwood throwing him fastballs in the cold, trying to break his fingers.
Yeah, bro, that shit was got to be frustrating. I'm telling you, man. Look, Sam Levet to Indiana, Marsh to Indiana. Jordan Marshall to Indiana. I mean, Indiana's getting one of the Marshes. Just don't know which one. Michigan State's going to come up too, dude. This is the perfect timing for Michigan State.
This is the perfect timing for Ryan Day. Your ops are down right now. You're coming off a national championship. You have the title favorite right now has an 8% blue chip ratio. This is your chance to grab college football by the throat and ascend to the top of the throne.
But I don't think them firing Sherrone Moore really has doesn't really impact to me the trajectory of Ohio State.
I mean, if you add Savion Hyder and Carter Meadows to this class, I think that drastically changes the trajectory of Ohio State. If you take a top 5 class and as a Christmas present, you add in a 5-star top 10 defensive end and
I think
Adrian Peterson-esque running back and stealing it from your op at the same time, where the only thing, what have we talked about? The only thing that seems to be able to keep Ryan Day down is Ryan Day and the team up north. And if you completely knock them out of your view of worry, does that not clear the path for Ryan Day to continue his?
I think Ryan Day is already on that level with whatever Michigan did. For me, those are good players, but they're not really. They don't change the trajectory or attitude of a program at all. And honestly, I would.
I'm not saying that they changed the trajectory. Well, I guess I am saying it changes the trajectory. Yeah. I don't see the attitude. I'm saying the trajectory from the aspect of the Buckeyes have an opportunity with the way the transfer portal is about to open up, with the amount of coaching movement that you add 2 kids like that on top of having a successful portal. I think Ohio State is in a position that if you add 2 kids like that on top of a stacked portal, you put yourself at a talent advantage in the sport and a gap between everyone else in the sport that we haven't seen in a while, especially in an era where...
Wait, haven't we seen it though? We already have the huge talent gap in the sport.
And if you were to exploit it and continue to add to it,
my thing is I don't think those players I think it really it's just if a Ryan Day wants to exploit the talent, I think who this has a chance to more benefit in terms of more weight would be a Michigan State, Indiana, Notre Dame. I think it helps them more than it helps Ohio State. Because a lot of these kids that those kids won't play for 3 years or 2 years at Ohio State. Those kids will be probably sophomores or upperclassmen before they ever touch the field, and by then.
But isn't that the next? Wouldn't that lay the groundwork for a dynastic run if you're able to?
Well, I'm saying so. What I'm saying is, I think the groundwork's already been laid for the dynastic run. Those guys don't change it. For other places, they need to lay the ground for the dynastic run. I guess is what I'm saying.
I feel you.
We just have the grounds already. But no, I mean they would be a fucking huge help. I think Hyder's awesome. I mean they're both awesome, but. I think it could change. It could change Indiana. Because think about it, if Indiana adds 4 or 5 of Michigan's young players, not recruits, but just young players, I think that would be whoa, getting this bitch fucking rocking. Because they're the team that has to crawl out from that blue chip ratio percentage being so low.
Yeah, for sure. That would give them an opportunity to really up that ratio and talent composite. So that could be a bump for Indiana.
Yeah, that's what generally I'm thinking. Dude, I just got a text saying that people are saying that he's actually been booked.
Oh, wow.
What a fucking crash out, dude. This is gonna go down. What a fucking 2-year window for Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, and if you were to look at it with any objective view and talk about the Harbaugh scandal with any sort of backbone or spine for what it really is, this last 5 years at Michigan has been one of the most appalling tenures that you've seen at any university as far as a lack of respect and control within the sport. I mean, you have an on-field cheating scandal, you have an off-field marital cheating scandal, you have the Alex Hughes situation, you have the Matt Weiss situation. How much more could happen at this university? And then they will look at you dead in your face in all seriousness and talk about themselves like they're an Ivy League school with morality.
Yeah. Dude, the Kolschi odds, Jed Fish, DeBoer, Brian Daboll, top 3. They're saying that rumors swirling that Michigan brass will be meeting with Kalen DeBoer in Orlando in a couple weeks. Oh, God.
I mean, they're not going to give up on Kalen DeBoer. And, I mean, again, after you saw them, what they were willing to overpay for Bryce Underwood, you think they're just going to lay down and accept, no, well, Kalen DeMoore said no, so we're just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. Quick math on Sherrone. Man was fired with cause, won't see another dollar from the contract. Divorce is going to cost him 50% of whatever he got, and tough sledding getting your next gig. Again, she got a show cost next year. All to clear the path for Gruden. You, my friend, did Michigan a solid. It's from Quincy Avery.
John Gruden, all the twerking he's done for Ryan Day in the last year is going to be fun for the rivalry, because how are you going to talk all that tough stuff when you're walking around with Ryan Day's shoes on, covered in Ohio State gear? Like, you couldn't carry enough gear out of the Woody. You were so giddy the last time you were there, and now you're going to be the man that leads them back to prominence against the juggernaut in Ohio State. I don't see that.
Someone tracked the flight from the University of Michigan to Tuscaloosa on Thursday evening. People are sick, dude.
Again, pointing back to how sleazy this whole thing is by the recruits that they waited this long to do it because they've known that they were going to do this. Again, what do I always say, Chris? If Ron knows, way more people know than me.
That was our, yeah, that's our
by
thing,
the time
man.
shit gets to me, I always assume if it has reached Ron's desk, hundreds of people had to have seen it by now, because I am so far removed away from that situation that, like, okay, well, if I've heard about this Sherrone Moore thing, clearly administrators have. Clearly, this decision wasn't made overnight. So I don't know. I think it's just disappointing, and I hope the Buckeyes find a way to take advantage of it, and I hope not too many Big Ten teams find a way to take advantage of the situation.
I just want all the kids to stay in the Big Ten. I'm with the Big Ten being tough. I don't think anybody.
Why?
I don't.
Why? That is such a terrible take.
No, because I value the conference, and I also don't think anybody's close enough to really scare me over the course of a 10-year window.
We just lost.
I know we did.
And you're talking about you want these Michigan players to go to that team. What are you talking about? That feels like a lack of respect for Kurt Cignetti than actual respect for him. Because if you respected Kurt Cignetti as this coach that you're worried about, why the fuck would you want him to get any more talent?
Because
he's the biggest risk to Ohio State.
I want this to be Nick Saban, Urban Meyer. And that's what
I want this to be. I want this to be the Harlem Globetrotters and the Washington Generals. I don't want a team in the Big Ten to have a chance to beat Ohio State. I have no problem with them saying it's a one-team conference and Ohio State just shows up on the national stage and still whoops everyone's ass. This idea that I mean, you look at the. How is this not we just slayed the dragon, Michigan's finally off our back, and now there's a new team that we're losing to in the Big Ten? Like, I don't want to see Kurt Cignetti do anything good. Like, all right, it was a cute, fun story. Google this when Will Howard's stepping on his cigarette, but now that he's hoisting hardware and smirking at Ryan Day, it's fuck that program and that guy.
Well, we consume football differently is all that is. Right?
I don't know about consume football differently. I was all on the Kurt Cignetti thing until you've become a threat to my team, and then it's fuck anyone that's in Ohio State's way until they're not.
I think about like the long time legacy of like this program, like Ryan Day, and one of the things that I want to look back on is like, not only did Ryan Day fucking dominate, but he dominated in a super tough Big Ten, and he dominated in a landscape where Cignetti would have multiple champions. So that's what I like, and that's what I want, because like I read a lot of articles.
It's a 12-team playoff. You're gonna have to win 3 games to win a national championship, anyways. What are you proving?
I know, but like I like the idea of the Big Ten being super difficult. I like that idea.
I don't, because we haven't won our conference in half a decade. And the idea that one of the powers, one of the best recruiters is about to spill out tons of talent into the conference, that does not excite me.
Ron, you're not going to convince me otherwise. I love
no, I'm not going to convince you, nor are you going to convince me.
Yeah.
You can love it as much as you want. I don't.
No, I'm just telling you that I consume the sport a little. I just consume like it from a legacy perspective more than anything, and so I want it to be super challenging.
Yeah,
just kind of speaking, but
I guess
it's just that one difference. But
that is a take. I'd like winning Big Ten championships to be harder.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, yeah.
Is it not hard enough though? We haven't won one in 5 years.
Yeah,
that's like playing the video game that you haven't beat for a month, and it's like, let me boost these sliders. It's not taking long enough.
Yeah, but I like the idea of, we didn't win the Big Ten, but the Big Ten's the best conference. We'll just win the fucking Natty.
You liked when Michigan won the Natty?
I liked. You said what?
You liked when Michigan won the Natty?
No, did you hear? No, I said like the idea like, oh, we didn't win the Big Ten, but we're still gonna have to win a Natty.
No, but what I'm saying is, do you like Michigan being a powerful enough program to win a national championship?
Generally speaking, probably not, but holistically speaking, probably. Like, I didn't like when they won the Natty, but I like when they are like an adversary. I like when they're a decent adversary. I think when I look back at the games,
I just put it like this: the last 3 winners of the Big Ten were 3 different teams, none of which were Ohio State. Nothing about that excites me.
Gotcha. So that excites me, I guess. That's where we're different.
For sure. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
That's just it. Because, like, and I guess, like, part of it is, like, when I look back at, like, Michigan-Ohio State games, like, my favorite game, like, one of my favorite games is probably, like, the 1 versus 2 game, like, game of the century. Like, I like stuff like that, like, storybook-wise.
Yeah, me too. Just good enough to fucking lose to us. We're already not beating Indiana. We're already not beating Oregon. We've lost to Oregon more times in the last 4 games than we've beat them. And Michigan, same thing. I don't want to see any of them do well. Like, personally, I'm content with my sliders.
Here we go.
I've had enough I've watched someone. I don't know about what storybook you've been reading lately, but I've watched Oregon put a duck on the 50-yard line at Ohio State. I've watched Michigan plant a flag. I've watched our players get punched in the face, thrown to the ground by their shiesties. I've watched Kurt Signetti hoist a Big Ten championship.
Yeah, Ron, I got
cool.
you. Ron. I would rather us have a more difficult time with Indiana than have a more difficult time with an SEC team. And in the 12-team playoff, I think we're going to get a lot more SEC teams. That's kind of all I'm saying. The talent's going to go somewhere, and I would rather it go to the Big Ten because I'd rather like have afford a loss in the Big Ten and still be able to win a national championship. Like that's what I'm saying. I would rather,
but like that's
lose,
just I got you.
I would rather lose a Big Ten regular season game or a Big Ten championship game than lose to an SEC team in the playoffs. Is what I'm saying. That is where I bring it back.
And all I was saying, because like this all kind of spiraled from me saying, I think it would be most beneficial if this distribution of talent, instead of going to the rest of the Big Ten to make them better, move them sliders all the way down to rookie and all come to Ohio State. And let's ratchet up this blue chip ratio up to 170%. Yeah. Like I can't have enough talent. This couldn't be easy enough for me.
No, wait, I didn't say that. I didn't say that I didn't want talent. Wait, Ron, I didn't say that I didn't want those guys. I just said it wouldn't move the needle as much for them to go to like Ohio State. It just wouldn't move the needle as much. Because like think about it, like does Hyder play this year at Ohio State?
I'm not entirely sure he doesn't.
No, he does not play at Ohio State next
year.
Chris,
they are talking about Savion Hyder, and I'm not talking about they in Michigan. I'm talking about recruiting experts in the likes of Adrian Peterson. I've been covering Ohio State for 5 years, and I've never once in 5 years of covering Ohio State seen that name in a comparison for running back. I'm not saying that he is, but in 5 years, I've never once. Have you? Have you ever heard a single running back in the high school recruiting in your time covering Ohio State compared to Adrian Peterson?
I'm pretty sure I have. Yes. I'm pretty sure Richard Young got those same comparisons.
Adrian Peterson?
Yeah, let me look.
No way.
And I maybe not AP, but Bijan got some crazy comparisons too.
But
let's see.
And that's the other thing. I'm looking at the chat. Like, if you're talking about you want to compete with are we not already there? We've won the last 2 Big Ten championships. I mean, we won the last 2 national championships. The top 2 seeds in the playoff are from the Big Ten. At what point do we have to like? Are we like still talking about the SEC? Like, I feel like that's falling into like the ESPN narratives. Like, oh, the boogeyman of the SEC. We can't let these players go.
No, wait. No. When did I ever say I was worried about the boogeyman of the SEC?
You said you'd rather see them stay in the Big Ten and not go to the SEC.
Yeah, because not because I'm wait. I didn't say I was scared of the boogeyman of the SEC. I said that I would rather the Big Ten retain talent That way the SEC stays down. Like, that is what I prefer.
Couldn't you make the same? Is that not the argument that I'm making about Ohio State, and
No,
you're
wait,
making it
but-
for the Big Ten?
But that's not the boogeyman thing. I just want to I'm not scared of the SEC.
Okay, it's not the
That's-
boogeyman, but that's literally the same comment. I mean, the same argument I'm making for Ohio State, and I guess the difference here is, and this is news to me, you care more about the Big Ten than what's best for Ohio State.
No, I think you're Ron. You're attacking this, I think, from not the angle that I'm attacking it from. So here we go. 2 parts. I would rather the Big Ten keep the talented players that started in the Big Ten. That is my point.
And all I'm saying is, I'd like any talented kid that's leaving a school in the Big Ten to come to Ohio State.
And I didn't disagree. When did I disagree with that?
when you said you'd rather see them, or that Ohio State doesn't need them and it moves the needle more.
I said it, yeah, because wait a second. Do those kids move the needle more going to Indiana or Notre Dame or another Big Ten school? Does it move the needle more going to Ohio State? My point is, Ohio State is so ridiculously talented already that those kids would move the needle less for Ohio State than they would for other programs. I would still like them at Ohio State. They just don't move the needle as much. The first comment was in regards to where those kids would move the needle more. The second comment was in regards to if they're not going to stay put, I don't want them in the SEC. Those two things can philosophically be true. I didn't say I don't want them at Ohio State. I said they move the needle more at other places. I also didn't say I'm scared of the SEC. I would just rather the talented players play in the Big Ten. Don't like twist where I'm coming from. It's a very direct approach. Those kids, it would be awesome at Ohio State. It doesn't move the needle as much as if they go to another school in the Big Ten. And I also would rather them in the Big Ten over the SEC.
Fair.
Right?
No, I said fair.
Okay, yeah, that's it. That's all. Like I don't want it to get confused at all. My bad. It cut out on my side. I didn't hear you say fair. Look, what year was that? And I do think I think Hyder's a freak. I don't want to ever say that I don't like that Hyder's not very good. What year was Bijan? 19 or 20 maybe? Kamara. And then who was Trey's comp? It was Christian McCaffrey.
Chris, just because you threw Richard Young out there, go to the 247 recruiting profile and please read me who he reminds them of.
I was. That's what I'm doing right now. I was like, what year was it? 19?
2023.
23. Jesus.
I can't believe you said this, Chris.
Bro, I'm just so far on Twitter, and he did slide later on. Who is it? It is what the fuck? That's a crazy bad comp.
Say it out loud.
Kalen, Ballard? That's your guy.
Kalen Balazs.
Kalen Balazs. That's gross.
Former short yardage back for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, that's really gross. Will Shipley. I'm trying to think of who. Maybe nobody did get the AP comp. I vaguely remember it being out there at some point, but.
I'm saying the last 15 years, outside of Derrick Henry, who would even be remotely close to being put in that same sentence? You got to think he's coming off the Heisman in the late 2010, in the late 2000s into the 2010s. I doubt many people were rushing to compare people to him early on. And then by 15, 16, it's not like, and my thing isn't it's not like we haven't seen great running backs since Adrian Peterson. We're talking about a prospect that they're comparing to a guy that went to Oklahoma and put an entire program on his back for 3 years.
Also, I'll have to find it, right? We'll have to find some, because on Hyder's 247 recruiting page, they have
that. But that's the only point that I'm making. The fact that you know what I mean. You talk about college football for a living.
Yeah, but
I do it on the side. The fact that both of us have been hashing this back and forth for 120 seconds and no name has really popped to mind. That's where I'm talking about with the Savion Hyder situation, that this is this is a prospect that, like, you know what I mean? Even like I'm
Well,
right here.
Just real quick. These evaluators, the same ones that we just looked at for Richard Young, like have him as a Marion Hampton. So like I haven't really
have
heard
who as a Marion Hampton?
Hyder.
Okay.
Yeah, so I haven't really heard too much of the AP stuff. I've seen it on Twitter, kind of like thrown around, but I haven't heard too much of it. But I don't know, like is he a better like prospect than Trey was coming out?
I think so. Do you think? I mean, I'm right here in Pittsburgh with Kamon Spell, the 27 running back, and I think Hyder is exceptionally better
than Trey.
Then Kamon Spell, the 20.
Well, I guess
27.
like, I'm asking about like Traven Henderson. Like, where do you have him like in regards to like him as a prospect? Like a better prospect than Traven Henderson?
if you're talking about number 1 overall running backs in the class, if you rank them from Bijan, Travion Henderson, Nick Singleton, who are the next 3 after that? Baxter, and I'm not remembering the 23 and 24, but like, I mean, in that list of backs, I would probably put Hyder as a prospect ahead of all of them except for Bijan.
Okay. So for me, like, I guess like I didn't. If you view him in like, here we go, because the way
I think they're 2 different types of backs. Like I think that there is a level of power and physicality with Hyder that was different than Bijan. When you're talking about a physical specimen at the age that he's at in comparison to where Bijan was at that age, I think Hyder's a little bit different.
Well, I guess like the reason, like, do you view him as like the Jeremiah Smith of running back conversation? Because that's how he's being talked about, I guess, like in the scene. That's I guess more what I'm curious about. Because if he's that, then like throw the whole world at him, like he would play right away. Because I personally don't think he would play next. Like he wouldn't. I think he would maybe play, but not start over Bo Jackson. Is kind of where I'm thinking, and that's why I made the comment about like moving the needle. Like I think.
But I mean, Travion Henderson was clearly the better back in his freshman year, and still needed to share the backfield with.
Like, do you think he'll be better than Bo? Like, true freshman him would be better than Bo Jackson as a true sophomore? Because that's kind of where I'm at in the world in terms of like. Well, that's why I said I don't think he would like move the needle as much at a place like Ohio State. Because like I think Bo Jackson's gonna be like one of the top 3 backs in America next year.
Do you think? Yeah. Okay. But here's I guess the way that I would look at it is I think Savion Hyder could give you another top 10 back in the country next year, where I think Isaiah West is probably maybe in the top 25 range as that secondary back. So, I mean, you look at the national championship success the Buckeyes were able to have with 2, top 5 backs in college football.
Yeah. And
why
it's
not
like
go back to your bread and butter?
Yeah. But again, like I think that like a top 10 back without a top 5 back moves the needle more somewhere else is all. But no, I mean, he's a freak.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. We've been talking this in circles. Right. I know what you were trying to say. You get what I was trying to say. I just think any accumulation of talent for the Buckeyes is massive. And I think, adding 2 5-stars to what could potentially be a big portal run would set them up for the future, especially given, the lack of depth in that edge room right now. There's a lot of young guys in that room. The running back room, very young room. If you continue, I mean, it takes talent to continue these type of runs. And like, I get what you're saying as far as moving the needle elsewhere. I think the Buckeyes are really close to pushing that needle off of the meter where they stand. And I guess that's where my point is. If you're on the verge of a second national championship, you're returning Julian Sain, you're returning, you're returning Jeremiah Smith, any accumulation of talent that may continue to put. But I'm not even, all 5 linemen, and I'm not even talking about moving the needle to winning the national championship next year. I'm talking about laying the foundation of you win a 3rd national championship, and you're again pulling it feels like the Buckeyes pulled a rabbit out of their hat with, oh, by the way, you know how we had the Arizona Cardinals starting linebackers, our starting linebacker wearing the block O? Yeah, we're going to move the block O over to the other linebacker, and we're going to bring this freak show from Glenville that we've been hiding on our bench for 2 years. That's going to be the best player in America, only playing 1 year in college football. And that's what I mean about as far as widening the gap, not as far as, like you said, we've already done it. We've pulled an Arvell Reese out of a hat. I'm saying, can they do it again after a 2nd national champion, a 3rd national championship? How long can they prolong this acquisition of talent before does it get stale? Do people get tired? Does it look like the Warriors if the Buckeyes continue to win? Do people get tired of just joining the best team?
I know. I think
at Alabama.
I think it comes to Bama thing. No one ever got tired of joining Alabama.
No.
ever. Unfortunately, I was waiting for it for a long time.
No one ever got tired. I do want to go eat, big dog. I've been on this bitch for a while.
Oh, no worries. If you want to wrap, I will jump off here.
Yeah,
and
dude, let's wrap,
appreciate
dude.
you having me on.
Yeah. What else do we have today? I mean, I guess we're just kind of waiting on details. But we've been on this bitch for how long? How long has this stream been up? Did he already hang up? Yeah, he did. All right. Hey.